Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. Today is Tuesday, February 8th. This is the Loshak in the Bag show that we do every Tuesday. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak, and we enjoy doing this show for you every Tuesday here at Pub Sports Radio. Jimmy the Bag, it's Tuesday, February 8th. I'm feeling pretty good. We got the Super Bowl coming up. I don't like to brag or jinx myself, but I had a decent show last week in the picks, right? Pretty nice. And today's a little bit crazy. We got the NHL card, which is always a joy, except the first few cards back from the All-Star break. Always a little bit annoying. We got a massive NBA card. I'm looking forward to TrotWAM, coming on and educating us a little bit on it. There's a few plays I think I'm liking. I don't know. Some interesting situations. And then we got college basketball. I did make a bunch of picks on the overnight lines, bets on the college basketball card. So we'll see what Maxwell Smart has to say about those picks. I'm psyched. Jimmy the Bag, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You are understating how well you did last week. You cashed both birthday picks. You went 4-0 in NBA. You had a great night in NHL. So I believe it was 5-2 in NHL. Yeah, I put in your record. So you were excellent last Tuesday, and I love it. And I expected you to be, because we had the break over the holidays, and I knew the longer that we started, getting some continuity back, that you would start rolling. I was very happy to see your excellent work, and I hope that it carries over to me. And I'm very excited. I am very excited about double check my mic setting. Sorry, I had it too loud before. Is this someone going to give me a thumbs up or something? Check. I had switched it up. He says my audio might not even be. Yes, that is. Oh, no, it's not even. Okay, I'm going to need.
You're watching Pub Sports Radio. This is the Loshak in the Bag show here.
I'm going to need a second. I'm going to bounce out. I'm going to need a second. I got to bounce out. I'll be back.
But you want to take?
Yeah, Pete, here we go. It's the me and Pete show for a second.
Hello, all right, Pete, I didn't put up the comment section yet. I haven't put up the comment section yet. But, if anyone has any, the floor is open to the comment section here on the Loshak in the Bag show at Pub Sports Radio. We love answering all your questions, the tough ones, the easy ones, the fun ones, the difficult ones, whatever questions you have. Shoot them out, and we'll do our best to address them and answer them here in the few moments that we have with Jimmy the Bag fixing his mic. Oh, Jimmy the Bag's back. We won't have any time for questions, but
damn. Well, Pete, hold on. Let me ask you. Let me ask you the big question. Pete, you coming to San Antonio? Damn it! Let me shake you down again.
We're working on it. We're looking at it. We're thinking about it. Right now the flights are in the $60 to $80 range. A little steep for me. I'm waiting for them to go down to the $40 to $25 range. At that point, it will be a different calculus for me. So I can't answer that question right now, but I am working on it. We have people
$60 to $80 range. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. I'm so excited to work with you after your fantastic last show, Pete. I do believe that you will continue this. Jose, do I have a thumbs up with my sound? We got a thumbs up back there. Too loud?
Turn it down a little bit, please.
A little too loud? Sure. How's that? Is that a little better? We back? Okay, there we go. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. Truth teller in the house. Dan Kelly ready to get to work. Sammy Calmer ready to go. Dennis Garcia, Michael Irvelina, Danny A coming off a 7-4-7 night in NBA. TJ ready to go. Michael Irvelina says great Super Bowl video. Jose, great Super Bowl video. Jose, if you guys haven't seen it, we have a Super Bowl video out right now. That's 17 different cappers, including Pistol Pete Loshak on that show. And I love it. I love what we've done there. Cashman 19, Mr. Gokster, he's on that show as well. He will also be on the flight with me down to San Antonio. I'm basically not leaving my apartment for 2 months, except when I go out into the balcony to stop the pigeons from banging. That's the only outside that I'm going to have until I go down to San Antonio and do it up in the worst conceivable ways. Danny Lopez, Nasty Nate, also joining us. Pistol Pete. That might interest. That might push you to come. That might be the final, the straw that makes you buy the $60 plane ticket. Jeff Shahadi ready to go. Vitalis, as Dame told the Blazers he was going to stay with the team if they promised to put pieces around him. The front office never said anything about 5 years out. Mr. Ghoster, and the hottest soccer capper we have at Pub Sports Radio, Slaughter. Fulham -1.5 at +102. Let's eat, fellas. Good luck to everyone today. Truth Teller, Nuke Worker, thank you guys. Okay, we have reverb coming from both mics. Is that factual? No, I'm getting the thumbs up here and another thumbs up. Sorry about the mic issues we're having early this morning. So we're just getting a little bit of background noise from Pete. It's my fault. I'm capping all these games, and it's not just the capping, Pete. As you know well, it's the stats. Track everybody takes hours upon hours, and I apologize for not having this. But Nut Flush says sounds great. That's all we need. So Slaughter -1.5. Let's get to work, everybody. Let's get to work. Thank you all for joining us. We have a ton of work to do, and I'm ready to do it. We have NHL first, then we'll have Maxwell Smart joining us for NCAA basketball, and then we have TrotWAM joining us for NBA. I've already made 5 bets on this NHL card. I have not had a good year so far, and I expect that to change, Pistol Pete Loshak, and I expect that to change right here, and I'm not afraid of this first slate for a bunch of teams after the All-Star break. Pete, you want to get into NHL and start breaking them down?
Yeah, let's get right into it. Huge shout out to Nut Flush, Alan, Dan, Kelly, everyone, Mr. Gokster, Vitalis, everyone who helps out. We're gonna need your help on today's, or I'm gonna need your help on today's NHL card. I didn't make any bets or picks on the opening lines for any of these games. Part of it has to do with the fact that in all sports I take it a little bit easy right after the teams return from the All-Star break. And Carolina, Ottawa, this is a classic situation, right, Jimmy the Bag? Obviously Carolina coming off of a loss in OT at Toronto. Ottawa got a win against New Jersey. So my first thought is obviously Carolina's the play here, right? Ottawa's very beatable. Carolina comes back off the All-Star break and gets a tough loss in OT, so they're going to come right back and be motivated to get a win. But you're paying a massive road favorite line here. Ottawa is, we've seen them, be a little bit undervalued in spots all season long. I definitely did not pull the trigger on Carolina yet. I don't know if I can bring myself to take a shot with Ottawa, but this is a very typical first few days back from the All-Star break handicapping situation. My official note on this game is not sure, ... Jimmy the Bag, what do you think?
I don't want either side. And I will explain it here shortly. But first, one of our favorite low baggers, it is Von Polo's birthday today. Von Polo's birthday today. He'll be rolling with us in San Antonio. Happy birthday, Von Polo. He's had our back since our very beginning together, and I love the man coming to us from Charm City. Happy birthday to our Von Polo, and the birthday pick starting to run hot, Pete.
Did he ask for one?
He did. He certainly did.
Oh, really? All right. Happy birthday, Von Polo. Happy birthday to you. Sure, I'll give you a birthday pick. Shout out to Fat Wally as well.
Oh yes, Fat Wally in the house. Yes, Hurricanes are a very good hockey team. 31-9-3, 15-5-2 at Ottawa Senators, 15-22-4, 8-11-1. We can trust both coaches enormously. Nutflush Allen made an excellent bet on the Hurricanes first period against the Leafs, expecting Brindamore to have them ready to go. Nutflush Allen is so hot right now, just seeing things so clearly. And the same can be said about the Ottawa Senators and DJ Smith, that Smith is such a great coach. He's going to have this team ready to go. We'll start with Antti Ranta, who's been okay this year. Small sample size, 6-2-1, 2.21 goals against average, 9-14, save percentage, 1 shutout. And then Anton Forsberg has been pretty good. 7-8-1, 3.02 goals against average, 909, save percentage, 1 shutout. By the way, ever since I compared Matthew Murray to Aaron Dell, I believe it was Aaron Dell, he's been excellent. And you said that there was a goaltending advantage with Matthew Murray, and I kind of didn't fully jump on that. And you were absolutely right. Matthew Murray's been excellent. Just,
I have a good eye for people who suck total ass. And I was like, I saw Aaron Dell, I was like, that dude sucks total ass. I'm not saying other people don't suck as well, but total ass is a special category in and of itself. I have a very good eye for that, and I was like, man, that guy sucks total ass.
You have a good eye for felching. Yes. That's it. But let's keep going. Carolina, 24.8% power play, 88.7% penalty killing. Ottawa, 18.4% power play, 80% penalty killing. Both teams on the second half of a back-to-back. Carolina comes in off a tough 4-3 overtime loss to Toronto last night. D'Angelo had a goal and assist. Niederreiter, Stepan also scored for the Hurricanes. Lost for the second time in 9 games. 7-1-1, 16-3-2 in their last 21. Shout out to Kyle Hintley, and thank you for the $5 dono, my guy. It means a ton to us. Thank you for your support. Kyle Hintley, and what a guy. They played without Teuvo Teravainen, missed his 3rd straight game with a lower body injury. He has 11 goals, 32 assists in 39 games, also a plus 16. He's very close to returning. Wouldn't shock me if he returned here, but unlikely. They also have Jesperi Kotkaniemi in COVID protocol, so he will not be in the lineup. Ottawa comes in off a 4-1 win at home over the Devils. Nick Paul, Connor Brown each had a goal and an assist. Matt Murray stopped 32 shots. They were outshot 33-24. They won just 19 of 46 faceoffs, but they comfortably won the game. And it's because New Jersey, quite like the Columbus Blue Jackets, who we'll be talking about later, are soft. They're soft, and you can push them around, and you can beat them up. And Ottawa out-hit New Jersey 44-28. Connor Brown, Dylan Gambrell, and Nikita Zaitsev returned from injuries after the All-Star break, but no Josh Norris and no Drake Batherson. And those are, Batherson's their most important offensive player. And maybe that's not true. Maybe that's probably Kachuk, but Batherson is a sniper and their highest scorer. Norris, very important. And this is such a busy time for the Senators. We got to keep an eye on them. 5 games in 7 nights. They play 11 games over the next 20 days. And they have 500 fans at home. It's going to be sleepy, very, very sleepy, which gives me interest in this under 6 at plus 100. I have some interest in that, but I don't. I've got lots of looks on this card that I like, Pete, and this is not one of them.
Yeah, I was thinking the same way as Nutflush Allen. I was thinking Carolina first period, but I've just learned this year, in general, but specifically with Ottawa, you got to be very careful. Taking big favorites again. It's not that Ottawa, isn't significantly worse than Carolina. It's just, every now and then they are going to get you a win in the first period in the full game. And so you got to be very careful taking big favorite lines against them. But I'm an inch away from pulling a trigger on Carolina. Even Carolina -1. What would the line there be? -160. Yeah, that's a little tough, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, I don't want that. Like Joseph Gomez saying, it's just overpriced right now. I don't want that. Mr. Gokster leaning towards the under as well. Kent Davis' Ottawa soft win last night. Carolina pissed. I think they come out fast and win the first period. I don't know. Sure, Marner scores late and wins it in overtime. I believe it's Marner who scored late in the third. But, they were down 2-1 going into the third period. I don't know if it's a really angry Hurricanes team coming in here tonight, but I do believe that Rod Brind'Amour will have them ready to go. You could take that -1 if you want it. I don't.
Jeez, here you go. Mr. Gokster, Sens will not score more than 2 goals tonight. I feel that way as well. Although the Senators, it's only -128 on the team total under. But if I were going to take that, I think I'd just go with the Carolina -1 line. God, should I do it, Jimmy the Bag? I don't know. Carolina, it's such an obvious spot for Carolina, and they are way better. Is there? There's no reason why we wouldn't expect Carolina to continue winning in the second half, right? At least the first few weeks.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're a very good hockey team, probably the class of Metropolitan. And
I'll take it. I'll take Carolina -1, -160. I know Ottawa is a team that can get you a win here and there, and it might be a little scary. It might be a 4-2 win or a 3-2 push or something like that. But I'll take it -1, -160, and I also agree with Nutflush Allen's take on the first period at -186. But if I think that Ottawa's gonna go down, I'll just take it the full game. Carolina to pull out a win after the loss against Toronto. -1, -160. I'll do it. Write it down, Jim. Official.
I did, and I've been interested with your action this year because your average line in NHL is higher than I've seen it before. But you're winning. You're winning. It all comes down to the winning overall, and that's what you're doing. So, I'm very, very interested in how these play out for you. It's a little different than our past working together, but it's working. Right. And and we all we all look up to you, Pete. We all want to know how you're gambling and the way you handle the market. So it's very interesting that you're taking these -1s at big prices.
Yeah.
Puzzler says under 6 is at +107 at Penny. So I took it. Okay, interesting. I don't know if I don't know. We'll talk more about maybe moving on that. There's Shy Archie in the house. Let's keep rolling, Pete. Let's move on to Pens Bruins.
Shout out to Shy Archie. Hey, Shy Archie. Remember when we went back and forth a little bit on Twitter about Shaka Smart, right? Marquette, huh? Shy Archie, huh? Shaka Smart, Marquette. I told you, pal. Shaka Smart in general is a coach you want to be betting on in any and all situations. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean that diversion, Jimmy the Bag, but we did talk about that on Twitter, and we'll talk about Marquette later on when Maxwell Smart comes. All right, you want to move on, Jim?
Yes, let's move on, my friend.
All right,
and
Pittsburgh.
Let's let Ron Crawford lead us into it. We have Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day in. Ron Crawford on the Boston Bruins. Our Ron Crawford, shout out to him. Thankful to roll with our guy, Ron Crawford in the house. All right, Pete, take it away.
Ron Crawford likes Boston, right? Is that what he said?
Yes, he does.
Another very, very typical, right after the All-Star break situation here. Pittsburgh, obviously an excellent team, but they lost 4 in a row heading into the break, right? Boston, clearly a solid team, but, maybe a little bit long in the tooth, and maybe we expect them to fade at some point in the second half, or at least become overvalued. One of those teams that's 50-50 straight up, but a favorite more often than not, and in general, a good bet against. I don't know. Malkin's out, right? He's in COVID protocol, right?
Malkin is in COVID protocol, and they called up Chaput and Puustinen from Wilkes-Barre, but they're also missing Heinen, Bluger, Zucker, and Drew O'Connor. So that's 3 left wingers from their depth chart in the center.
Sure. I was thinking maybe a shot with the under and maybe a shot with Pittsburgh to turn it around. A lot of times these good teams sort of fade a little bit heading into the All-Star break, and then they come back with a bang right after. But I wouldn't necessarily want to bet against Boston at home in their first game back. I don't know. Maybe a shot with the under, Jimmy the Bag. This is another one where I'm probably going to pass.
I don't know. Well, you have to. The first thing I think is you have to ask what your confidence in Jeremy Swayman is, and is it confirmed that Swayman is between the pipes, 8-6 and 2.31 goals?
From everything I don't know if it's confirmed, but I assume that was definitely the case. So yeah,
916 save percentage. Mr. Gokster says Swayman solid. Yari's sort of coming back to earth a little bit himself. 2.21 goals against average, 923 save percentage. Both teams great special teams. Pittsburgh 22.1% power play, and that was at what 16 or 17 before Malkin came back, and it just shoots up immediately. 87.5% penalty killing. Now Malkin's gone, so for the a limited time. But Boston 26.4% power play, 83.2% penalty killing. Let's just see what has happened here in this from the Action Network. We've moved to the Action Network, our old site, just letting us down too often. Bruins open up at -125. Now we see 130s and 135s on the docket. So Boston's first game since February 1st when they beat the Kraken 3-2 is an underwhelming home victory. I had them on the -1.5 line and lost. They get Eric Haula back. They don't have a ton of depth. Nick Foligno and Trent Frederick remain out. They're 8-3 in their last 11 at home. Pittsburgh comes in off their 4th straight loss, 4-3 in overtime, and it was against Washington. It was a game I thought they were going to win. Jake Gensel continues to play well. Brian Rust is just a monster right now. He was named NHL's 3rd star of the month, 1.91 points per game, 10 power play points. Kent Davies says Swayman home splits are not great. Mr. Ghost is saying Swayman pissed he was sent down for that bum Rask. He says now he's back. I expect him to show they made the right move. So, look, I don't feel like there's a big enough edge. I can understand the spreadsheet play of the day leaning or pushing Ron Crawford towards Boston at home at this price. I get it, but I don't want it. They've been underwhelming, and I just don't feel like there's a big enough edge here against the angry Penguins team who's down 4. Now, with Malkin, if you think, okay, they have Malkin out, their power play is going to be worse, and of course, it's moved from 6 to 5.5. So I should have figured that out earlier.
Die Hard MMA podcast says, I question the Bruins' heart. Ouch. That's a pretty brutal indictment right there, Jim. I kind of agree, though. I feel like they're going to be one of these overvalued teams that's still going to be 50-50 straight up going forward, but is more often than not going to be a good bet against.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's amazing to say that when we think of Bergeron and Marchand, Pasternak heating up. I think this team needs Foligno. Look, they really miss Krejci, and so I think this team is also like a player or two away from being a very dangerous team come playoffs. I don't know exactly what to make of them. There's a lot of spots on this NHL card that I like, and I'm off of this one.
Yeah, some people, if I had to make a bet on that, because I was leaning under anyway, and people were suggesting that the first period under at plus money might be worth a shot. So that's what I was thinking as well. But, with Pittsburgh and the uncertainty coming back from the break, I guess I will pass on that one as well. Does that make sense to you, first period under, Jim?
Yeah.
Just plus 105, though. It'll be a pass for me.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Nutflush. No, we were talking about. I thought we made that clear. Sorry, Nutflush. Yeah, your great bet on the Canes first period yesterday. That was yesterday.
So he wasn't saying period. He wasn't saying Hurricanes tonight first period.
No, he had him yesterday with the idea that the Leafs might come out slow out of the gate, and we know that what Rod Brindamore does. So thank you for mentioning that there. Okay, let's keep rolling here, Pete.
All right.
I'm off this game.
Okay, I'm off it too. All right, next one, New Jersey, Montreal. I mean, who the hell knows, right? Two horrible teams. Who's worse? I don't really know, but Jimmy the Bag, who has such an accurate and precise read on NHL teams, might be able to give an answer to that. As far as I'm concerned, they're both equally awful. New Jersey's on the back-to-back. Montreal is not. I don't know. Maybe New Jersey first period. What do you think about this one, Jim?
I love Montreal here tonight.
Really?
I love Montreal here tonight. The market's moving against me. It was funny. It went from minus 120 down to minus 110. And I was like, okay, it's moving. And then it went back to minus 115. It's like, okay, I should move here. Other people are going to agree. And then, of course, now it's minus 105 and plus 215. So I would have got a better line. Not only that, I didn't bother with the money line. I took the Montreal Canadiens on the minus one line at plus 140. I think this is an excellent opportunity for the Habs off of the break, and I will explain why in a second.
La plus grande franchise dans la histoire du hockey.
Yeah, that's right. I believe in this group of players who have not really been playing together because of injuries. So they've been losing and losing and losing and losing. And then they get 7 days off to clear their head. And then they come back much stronger than where they've been. I believe that the market is not aware of what this team can do if they're all healthy. And I think that we can start betting the Montreal Canadiens here over the next week or so until the market maybe catches up here. Sammy Calmer saying still no Dougie Hamilton. Look, this Devils team is weak and they're losing, and now they have John Gillies in net. And then Slatsy says being reluctant to back the Habs, but this is a nice spot. No Hughes or Hamilton for New Jersey back-to-back, and the Habs have almost all forwards back. Just bet money line plus 102 at Penny. Mr. Goxer says Sam Montembeault, though, Jimmy, and exactly right. When I look at John Gillies and Sam Montembeault, my first inclination was maybe I should move on the over. That should be my bet here. But the more I studied it, the more I thought, man, we're going to be ahead of this market move on the Montreal Canadiens. Let's break it down a little bit more. Canadiens been awful this year. 8-29 and 7, 5, 13 and 1. John Gillies is terrible. So yes, Montembeault's not to be trusted, but I would rather have Montembeault in goal than Gillies. And look, Montembeault has worse numbers than Gillies this year, but I think the break helped Montembeault as well. New Jersey power play 16.9%. You take Hughes and Dougie Hamilton off that power play, and it's a single-digit power play. 82% penalty killing, good there. Montreal 14% power play, 73.3% penalty killing. We talked about the Devils on the second half of a back-to-back after losing 4-1 to Ottawa last night. They outshot Ottawa 33-24. They won 27 to 46 faceoffs, but they were pushed around. So Hischier scored for the Devils. They get that early power play goal and then do nothing. They've lost 7 straight, all in regulation. They've lost 10 of their last 11. They're just they're just a losing hockey team. And now they're going into Montreal, and I don't think they go into Montreal and think, oh, here's our chance to snap the winning streak. Let's get it together. No, I think they're just with their shoulders down, their head down. I just think they're a pack of losers right now. They've scored 1 goal 4 times during the losing streak. They've been outscored 30-12 over the losing streak. No Jack Hughes, no Dougie Hamilton, no Mackenzie Blackwood. This is as healthy as this Habs team has been in months. They needed the break. They got the break. Puzzler says Nico Dawes expected for New Jersey. That's not. That would be shocking if they go with. They won't use Nico Dawes in back-to-back nights. It would just shock me. So there's Turnsey in the house. What up, Turnsey? And Coin Cycle says a little off topic, but I'm fading Man United, picking Burnley as a massive upset. Respect there. Ron Crawford says Montreal spreadsheet is a stat play. Turnsey says he's all over the Habs here. I think if we're right here, the Habs take care of business, I think we're going to be ahead of the market for 7 to 10 days.
Wow. That's a hell of a breakdown, Jimmy the Bag. Of course, if you want to look back and find Montreal's third win from now, you have to go back all the way to November. But you think that something's fundamentally different about them right now than when they got blasted in late January.
Definitely. And we'll go over it here really quickly, but also the break. Don't underestimate what that break did for them. They're losing. They get a break and they come back and they're almost whole again. And I think that break's going to help them enormously. So we have Suzuki, Toffoli, Lehkonen on the first line. You got Gallagher back. So you have Dolphin, Gallagher, and Hoffman. Then you have Evans, Byron, and Anderson. All of a sudden, that's a really good third line. I mean, that is a Paul Byron. Now, we'll have to see what Paul Byron does. He's missed half of the year. But Evans, Byron, and Anderson is one of the top 10 third lines in the NHL, in my estimation. You have Cole Caulfield, who gets to get a break, get away from the game for a week when he was supposed to be Rookie of the Year and he shit the bed. I think this is a really nice opportunity for us.
All right. Diehard MMA podcast says, I like it, Jimmy. Nutflush Allen says, Jimmy, Montreal team total over 3.5 is at plus 130. This is something I'm working on now, but I can't tell if that's satire or if that is sincere. It could be satire from Nutflush Allen right there, right, Jim?
No. That's all sincerity. That's all sincerity, buddy. Oh, yeah.
All right, listen. I'm going to trust you guys. If Montreal wins, it's probably by a bit of a margin. I'll take him at Pinnacle right now. Montreal -1 plus 162. I'll take it. I mean, obviously, I don't love betting against Montreal, but I don't mind fading the Devils right now. Okay, I'll take it. If it loses
this one, we'll see what happens. But this screamed at me this morning. It just screamed at me. Attack. So I'm on it.
All right, and I'm on it too. -1 plus 162. You got it, Jim?
I do. -1 plus 162 for Pete on the Habs. Let's roll.
All right, let's move on, huh?
Yes, and shout out to Dutch Boy Fresh rolling with us right now. By the way, has an ROI, Pete, at 45 games. 45 picks he's given out on the show here. He has an ROI of plus 22.07%.
Oh, Lord. Wow. Holy shit. Who is that? Wow. Damn.
Dutch Boy Fresh on our Thursday shows. Okay, but let's keep rolling, my man.
Oh, man. All right. Shout out to Dutch Boy Fresh. Next one, Columbus and Washington. Washington. Do we have any news on Ovechkin? Is he out or in? I think he's going to be in, right?
Well, we think he's going to be in, but he still has to jump through a couple COVID hoops.
Right.
So I don't know if maybe it's happened right now. Let's see if there's been a big move on them. If there's been a big move, it means he is in. Let's check it out right now. We have.
Yeah, I mean, so while you look at that, Washington, another relatively quality team, at least before they hit a wall. That was slumping heading into the break, but they did have a couple of nice dog wins on the road right before the break. Now -250 or whatever the line is. I haven't checked if it moved. Columbus again, similar to Ottawa, mostly a bad team, but they can get a big win here and there. Of course, they went into Carolina in mid-January and crushed them 6-0 as a plus 250 road dog. So Columbus is another team that I want to be careful about laying a big number with. And Washington doesn't really inspire confidence. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm looking to bet Columbus here either. But again, this looks like a pass to me unless you have something you're liking here, Jim.
Wow, Copley first off the ice for the Caps. That's surprising. That's really surprising. I looked at this over, and it had moved to 6.5 from 6, and I was like, okay, well, I missed it. I looked at what the over would be if I built it on my own. It was going to be minus 132. It's even worse now. So I'm just going to let it go and just say, well, I missed this one. Jackets 20-22-1, 20-22-1, 8-12-0 on the road. Capitals 25-13, 9-12, 8-5 at home. We're Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Merzlikins has not looked good. You know, I'm struggling this year, but in all, I mean, if you're going to cap a sport thoroughly, even if you're struggling, there's some of your takes are going to be right. I mean, you know, but my take on Merzlikins after that hot start was I should have been rich off of it, and I'm not. He's fallen off, and after that very difficult summer, Peter's best friend died in a hot tub in a Roman candle accident right before the season started. It was just, you know, and here's a guy who isn't, you know, has English second language issues, and now he loses his best friend to this freak accident. Like, it's just, so he started out very hot, but then, you know, he's fallen off in this COVID year where you can't go out and not loses his best friend. Columbus power play 14.8%, 80% penalty killing. Washington 15.3% power play, 79% penalty killing. Capitals have lost 3 straight at home. So they haven't lost 4 straight at home since 07-08. They're 5-7-2 in their past 14 games overall. They've been outscored 30-19 during a 2-5-1 stretch at home. So Oshie has not started skating yet. This team is. Oh, by the way, here's a very important point to make, you guys. The Capitals play the Habs on Thursday, and Ovechkin can't come to Canada, right? We still have the requirement that you have to be at least 10 days removed from a positive COVID test. So it'll be interesting to see if people realize that when that market first becomes available. And in fact, if the Habs win today, they might be worth a shot as a big dog against Alexander Ovechkin-less Capital squad as soon as that line comes out. So just keep that in mind, because then people say, well, there's no Ovechkin. Now that's predicated on the Habs looking good here in this first game off the break. Jackets coming off an ugly 8-4 loss at home to Florida on January 31st. They've allowed an average of 4.6 goals a game while losing 5 of their last 8. They're just a shit hockey team. And the Finnish general manager should be fired. Blue Jackets are 8-16-1 since November 2nd. And they have a ton of injuries. They've lost Tessier. He's now out, you know, for an extended period of time with a finger injury. Right wingers Justin Danforth and Emil Bemstrom out. Left winger Eric Robertson and defenseman Jake Bean are all hurt. Now Patrick Laine is heating up. 2 goals in each of his last 2 games. He has 6 points over that span. Merzlikins has lost 3 starts. He's allowed 13 goals in his last 2 games. So. And Vitalis, no Roman candles and no. Well, who knows? There might be some hot tubs, but we're going to keep the Roman candles out of it. Mr. Goga says, I'm off this Columbus Washington spot. I mean, yeah, I assume the Capitals are going to bounce back by the minus 250 and the puck line minus 105. Do I really want that off the All-Star break? I don't think so. Do you want that, Pete?
No. And what's your just for 10-second analysis? What's your take on Washington in general in the second half, or at least in the first bunch of weeks in the second half? 5-19 last 14 heading into the break. A couple of nice dog wins, but in general, very slumping and very overvalued.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't have a lot of depth. The Backstrom's been okay stats wise, but he's not led the team to victories. Their goaltending is not being trustworthy. I don't know. It's a very good question. I don't know what to make of this veteran squad. I'd have to see if they have cap room. I'm not even sure about their cap room to see if they can add somebody. They probably do, because they have an Oshie and Backstrom on the LITR for so long. It's a question I don't feel comfortable answering. I don't know what the Capitals are going to give us in the second half.
Right. Okay. Pass for me then. Let's move on, Jim.
Yes, let's move on.
All right. Minnesota, Winnipeg, another classic right after the All-Star break handicapping situation. Minnesota, of course, on fire, winning game in and game out, heading into the break. Winnipeg, the opposite, cold as ice, losing 7 of 8 heading into the break. And, I'm not sure, everyone, I read all these articles about Hellebuck, top 10, not top 10 goalies, top 10 players in the entire NHL. But look at everyone is losing game in and game out and game in and game out. Then they put the other goalie in. They finally get a win. But still, everyone's convinced that Hellebuck is this elite player, elite goaltender. Normally, in a situation like this, I'd be thinking about at least a short term, one game reversal of fortune for both of these teams, thinking about maybe Winnipeg sneaking up on Minnesota and pulling out a win, but at just plus 120 or whatever the line is right now, I don't think that's enough to pull the trigger on it. Winnipeg, to me, seems like a very questionable team in general. And what's Minnesota's mindset going to be coming in here after the huge winning run, heading into the break? I'm not sure. Tough game. I was thinking, I don't know, maybe a first period under, but I don't like that one either. Any looks on this one, Jim, that you're liking?
Oh, yeah. I'm completely with Slatsy and Mr. Gokster.
Mhm.
Gokster said the best wild slam spot. Slatsy, wild regulation of plus 108. Do I need to worry with Everson behind the bench that Minnesota will be ready to go with Bill Guerin, managing this team? I don't think so. I don't think I need to worry about him at all. This is coming into the All-Star break, the Wild, Avalanche, best two teams in the NHL. And this isn't me saying, oh, yeah, the Wild are going to be so ready to go out the break. This is, let's fade Winnipeg nonstop moving forward. Fade them. Listen to this injury report. They lose 3 players to COVID-19 on Sunday. Neil Pionk is so important to this defense. Maybe their most important defenseman. Pierre-Luc Dubois. I mean, they need him so desperately down the middle. So they lose arguably their top centerman, arguably their top defenseman to COVID 2 days ago. Then they have Beaulieu. They have 4 defensemen here, and Beaulieu, Sandberg, Stanley, and DeMello on the IL. And then you add Neil Pionk to that. I mean, this is Nikolai Ehlers dealing with his knee injury since the 17th of January. Let's see if he went back home to Denmark. Oh, man. The coach, Paul Maurice, gave up on this squad, gave up on them. So this is just a fade. This team in the Wild are so good. Kaprizov, team high, 19 goals, 34 assists, 53 points. Zuccarello is 42 points. Fiala, 34 points. We haven't even mentioned how incredible Hartman is being. His plus minus, just the only person who can mess with Hartman's plus minus per game is over in Colorado, Devon Taves. Kokkinen's been very good. He's been better than Talbot. They have lost Matt Dumba to IR. He won't be with the team in Winnipeg. So, they've lost Dumba. Nick Bukestad's out long-term, but this is take the Wild. Mr. Go says Wild regulation was my favorite spot on the card. This was a must bet on Mild -1. Must bet. Everybody's given up on the Jets, and now they got COVID going through. I mean, did the break help the Jets? No, because they don't come back full. Like the difference between being a losing hockey team and coming back from the break is that the Habs look around the dressing room and they see, oh, we're back. Let's go, guys. The Jets look around, they lose their best centerman and best defenseman, and they already have all these injuries, and their coach gave up on them. I think we start fading the Jets moving forward.
Wow. Okay, and you're not concerned about a team that's just been rolling, and then they go to the break and then they come back and maybe a little bit listless to start.
Yeah, no, I'm afraid of that, and I was sort of afraid of that in that Blackhawks spot, in the Blackhawks spot right before the break. But they won 5-0, but it was 0-0 until about 5 minutes left in the second period. Yeah, I'm a little worried about the first period, but they're just a much better hockey team.
Right. Before the break is a little bit different to me than after the break. And what do you think about, a lot of times you say this, Jimmy the Bag, when a team is injured, they get very conservative. They play defense-oriented games. We might look to unders with them just because of the way that they adjust their style of play. You think that's going to happen here?
That's an interesting idea. I'd like to look at what the team total under is for the Jets. I'm sure it's heavily juiced because I don't see how they can possibly.
2.5 at plus money.
Wow. Wow, that's a great spot. I'm gonna add that to my card.
Yeah,
I'm adding that to my card right now. There's 500 fans in the arena too. It's not like the fan. If this was a sold out Canada Life Center, we'd be like, okay, maybe the fans will give them a boost. Nothing is giving them a boost. So yeah, I like that. I'm gonna add that.
And Minnesota's good defensively, huh?
Well, they're a little worse without Dumba, but remember, Dumba's like a bit of a power play specialist. I mean, Dumba's not that big, so the Wild's just a smash and grab here. This is.
And what do you think? What do you think? Just quickly about the full game team total under it: 6+ money, 6.5 minus 130.
I'd have some concern about the Jets giving up at some point. James S says money line not that high. This is where the market's been on Wild road games. This is the exact same market we had against the Blackhawks. The exact same. I got in at minus 150. I got the minus one line at plus 107. And then during the show, it had moved 5 cents towards the Wild. Not very much. It seemed kind of strange but this is just what the market's been.
Wow. All right. I'll tell you what. I think I'm gonna. I don't know this. I'm going to take a shot with the under 6.5 minus 129. I know you think that might be a little bit stupid, and it might be.
No, I don't think it's stupid, isn't it? No, because I know if I think the Jets are going to score under 2.5 goals, then I mean you need the Wild to score 5. No, that's possible, but no, I don't think it's stupid.
All right, 6.5 minus 129. Hellebuck is in goal, isn't he?
Yes.
Unconfirmed, but yeah.
Expected, yeah.
All right, I'll take under 6.5 minus 129. And before this show is out, I might join you on Minnesota. You guys are loving this, huh?
Oh yeah, this is just put your foot down on the. This is a division rival too. It's not like, and then you got Dean Evison, who is he's just not to be trifled with, and then you got Bill Guerin staring holes through you from the press box. I mean, you have the toughest general manager in the league. I mean, the general manager could come down and kick your ass in a fight. I mean, they're going to be ready to go.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take Minnesota -1 plus 105. That's the current line at Pinnacle. Minnesota -1 plus 105. I'll take that one, Jim.
Okay.
Doubling up.
Okay, let's keep rolling.
All right, let's keep rolling. Next game on the card: Vegas Edmonton. Edmonton winning before the break, and Vegas kind of similar to Washington, I guess, but a stronger team. I think we would all agree with that. They also 5-7 last 12 closing in before the break. And so when this line first came out, I thought it was a good spot to take Vegas. I didn't pull the trigger on it, and now it looks like it has moved in Vegas's favor by about 10 points or more. And I was also thinking maybe about an over or a first period over, even at -160 or something like that. But I don't know. I was leaning Vegas, didn't pull the trigger, and now it's moved in their direction. What's your take on this one?
I love the Oilers here. I got him at +100. Could get him now at +105. Love the Oilers here. I don't see how Chandler Stevenson can cross the border. So he can't cross the border. Chandler, their starting centerman's not going to be on the ice. You have to have a negative COVID test for 10 days. And he went into protocol on the 28th of January. So I do not. And so we have a bunch of news coming in NBA. So we have a trade for CJ over to the Pelicans of all places, which is wild. And Harden is out for the Nets. So a lot of movement that we'll talk about once we have TrotWAM joining us. And yes, Jack Eichel did take part in this first contact practice. He's expected to be in the lineup on February 16th when they're at home to the Avalanche. But you can tell that this Oilers team that's down 8 points in the Pacific to the Knights, that's 10-2 against the Pacific Division this year. 2-0. And Mr. Goxer's right. Bang on. He says Smith in net for the Oilers is the only question mark. Look, it was enough for me to almost not bet it. I was like, oh, God, do I really want Mike Smith here in his first game back? That was it. This team went 5-0-1 over their last 6 before the All-Star break, and now they have their veteran who's supposed to get them into the playoffs and get them rolling back. I don't know what he's going to give them, but, man, do I want to bet against the Golden Knights when I get the Oilers at home at a dog price against the Knights team that doesn't have their number one center iceman who plays in every important position or situation, I should say, out on the ice. Slat says can't put money on Mike Smith. I can put money on the Oilers here comfortably, very comfortably. Yes, I'll put on the -1 calculator right now. So this was an easy bet for me to make. I loved seeing the dog line. I was shocked. I set this line Oilers -120, Knights +100. That's what I set this line at. So there's enough value for me, and I love it. I love it. So I'm confident on the Oilers at +100. But this is, how could Chandler Stevenson possibly show a negative test 10 days ago? He can't. So that's a big part of it. So,
wow.
And Mr. Gogser said I grabbed Oilers overnight. Mr. Gogser thought the same thing. He thought this line doesn't make sense. So,
what do you think about the over? Joshua Chipman, love the over here. DX Filer, I bet first period over at -135 early. Nice. What do you think about over?
I like it. I like the over here, especially without Chandler Stevenson. I like the over. I think it makes sense. I looked at it. I staying off these 6.5s, but let me just see. Oh, by the way, the Oilers opened up at -118 and money just flying on the Vegas. I think it's a mistake, and I'm not afraid to bet against it. This total did open up at 6, so I felt like I kind of missed it, and I don't need to have too much on this game. So I like the Oilers here. They have some renewed confidence with Evander Kane in the lineup, and they are missing Chris Russell, which hurts them defensively, but he wasn't playing that much anyways. So I'm comfortable.
You know what? I'll throw on another one. I'll take the first period over, even though I'm getting a crappy line, and I'll take it at 1.5, over 1.5, -152. I know that's risky, but I'll take that one. Over 1.5, -152. Your 5-second take on Mike Smith, Jimmy the Bag.
Well, he's a veteran presence that's loved by the group, but he hasn't played in months. Now he got the All-Star break, and look, I thought his career was done when he left the Coyotes, and it looked like I was right at first when he went to Calgary and didn't look good. But he's come to Edmonton, and he's shown that you can still be a good goaltender at what's he, 39? He's so old, but he's stepped up, and they need him to here. Mr. Gog says White Cloud was out. Yeah, I didn't go over all the notes here, but White Cloud out. And David Coughlin is on the COVID list with Chandler Stevenson. Nicholas Hague and Alec Martinez remain out of the lineup. We thought Alec Martinez would come back earlier. So look at that there. Now you have Zach Whitecloud, David Coughlin, Nicholas Hague, and Alec Martinez, 4 defensemen out of the lineup. Now they're not any of the top. None of those 4 are in the top pair. But you have 4 defensemen out of the lineup. I love this spot for the Oilers. I don't care about them.
And I'll take the first period over 1.5 -152, Jim.
Okay, let's roll.
Okay, and the last, ready to move on?
Yes, but not Flush Island. The thing is it has to be 10 days. You can't come to Canada unless you have a negative test 10 days ago. That's why Ovechkin's not coming to Montreal, and that's why Chandler Stevenson. It's bullshit. I hope it changes soon. It's bullshit. Our government's fucked. That's wrong.
Wow, just because someone posted Edmonton Oilers team total over might be the play. Just 2.5 -139.
Yeah, I guess I would probably turn that into a 3 if I was going to bet it and use that -1 calculator. That's an interesting look. I have no problem doing that. The team total turning into a 3.
Oh, whoa! Now it's -155. I think maybe that was regulation that I was seeing.
Yeah, I got
right. That was regulation, but still -155 for OT included.
Yeah. Mine's -200. So let's roll. We got
all right. Let's move on. Okay.
Last game on the card.
Yep, Arizona, Vancouver. How much better is Vancouver than Arizona? Of course, Arizona beat Colorado as a massive dog right before the break. Basically an awful team, but as we talked about in that game, Arizona has had some legitimately impressive upset wins and near misses as a massive dog against the best of the NHL. And now they're going up against, Vancouver, who's been, a very respectable team since December. But, they have some injuries as well, right? Quinn Hughes, I think, he's going to be out. And it's just, I don't know, not an ideal situation for Vancouver. And at this high of a line, I wouldn't put Vancouver anywhere near in the category of the teams that Arizona has played competitively here and there over the past couple months. So, I don't know. I didn't pull the trigger yet on Arizona, but I was thinking maybe Arizona first period, maybe one of those Arizona like +2 lines to keep it close at a big favorite line. What's your take on this one, Jimmy the Bag?
I made 2 bets on this game. I love this game. I think this is a real watch and learn spot, but I am going to bet it while I'm learning. So Quinn Hughes went to America during the All-Star break, tested positive for COVID. He will be out until at least February 17th. So he leads our team with +10 in plus-minus, second in scoring with 34 points. He's a quarterback on the power play. So this power play at 18.9%, you take the quarterback off of it. I think this is a 12%, 13% power play without Quinn Hughes. I've been surprised that this wasn't a 24% power play all year. Now you take out the quarterback. So if the Canucks can't score or have a difficult time scoring, which is what I'm banking on in this game, we need to take advantage of it, and the market won't catch up for at least a few days. So I'm on 2 things. I'm on the under 5.5 at -120. But my best bet here is on the Canucks team total under 3 at +137. Got a +137, just going with the under 2.5 and the under 3.5 with the -1 calculator. I want to see if these Canucks can score. Now, there is a concern when you have Vejmelka and Demko, who are goalies who I believe are good, not playing in a while. That's the only concern. That's the only concern I have. But I'm on the under 5.5 and the Canucks team total under 3 +137.
Yeah. Wow. Let me. So with Arizona, it's 2 totally different teams in your mind. If Wedgwood's in, or if Vejmelka's in.
No, I kind of liked what Wedgwood's done of late, and the things he's been saying. I've kind of turned but Vejmelka is the better goaltender. Yes.
Right. And Vancouver was having issues scoring, for a while. But yeah, they put up 3 against Chicago, 5 on the road against Winnipeg. They seem like they just slow down at home.
But their best offensive player is Quinn Hughes.
Yeah,
he's their best offensive player. Well, JT Miller. I mean, okay, but Quinn Hughes is our most. I don't know. It's whatever. That's a different conversation. But take him out, and then what are they going to do?
Why would you not like a shot with Arizona in one way or another, either as a big dog or getting a bunch of goals as a big favorite? Or
they're trash. They're a trash hockey team. Now they can upset teams, and maybe they do it here, but I don't need. I like my angles. I don't need to have too much invested in this game. I've got a lot. Unless I add the team total under with the Jets, and if I add that, then it'll be the same. But I have the most invested in this game than any other game on this card, so I'm comfortable there.
Yeah, DX Filer says Nuck should not be -250 against anyone. Yeah, it's a typical should not be this big of a favorite against anyone situation. I was thinking about taking Arizona in some way. All right, maybe I'll add it at the end of the show, huh?
Yeah, let's move into college basketball. We have the Cupcake King in the wings, ready to rock. I agree with DX Filer. Nuck shouldn't be -250 versus anyone, especially not with the Quinn Hughes out of lineup. And Jimmy Gomez, just a hell of an NHL capper, hell of a capper all around. But by the way, Jimmy Gomez is our guy who's got the Ducks to win the division at 150-1. He's got New Jersey +1.5, Canes money line, Caps under 6, Boston under 5.5, and Wild money line. So I like it. But I like it. So let's review NHL and get into our man Maxwell Smart's NCAA basketball. I can't wait to work with both of you in college basketball. Pete is on the Hurricanes -1 at -160. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is on the Boston Bruins. We both stayed off that game. Pete's on the Habs -1 at +162. I got the Habs -1 at +140. And I really like the bet. I really, really, really like that bet. Maybe it's my favorite bet on the board, even more than the Wild. Nothing for us in Blue Jackets Capitals. I'm on the Wild -1, and Pete joined me. Pete added the under 6.5 at -129, and I think I'll add the Jets team total under 2.5 at +100. Then Pete is on the over 1.5 at -152 in Vegas. Edmonton, I'm on the Oilers +100. It's now +105. And then Arizona, Vancouver, I moved 2 ways. I took the under 5.5 at -120. That hasn't moved. And I took the Canucks team total under 3 at +137. And I can't wait. I love this big Tuesday card. I feel refreshed from the weekend, and I can't wait for all this action. My palms are leaking. Let me ask you this, Pistol Pete, are you ready for college basketball?
I am. I didn't actually get to the entire card, but I made a bunch of plays on the overnight lines. A few of them have actually moved, which is good for me, not good for the show. And I'm interested to see what Maxwell Smart has to say, because as we've been in these shows that I've been doing with Maxwell Smart, tons of times the market has moved against us. We liked it anyway, if anything, even more, and we were right more often than not. So let's see what Maxwell Smart has to say.
Let's see what Maxwell Smart has to say. Von Polo saying, do we have the birthday pick yet? He's already sipping on Hennessy. No, Pete uses the whole show.
Happy birthday to Von Polo. I'm going to have to wait until the end of the show for that. I'm sorry about that, but I take this shit very seriously. And
I know. But without further ado, please welcome the Cupcake King, Maxwell Smart, to the show.
Like me, open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you're going hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah.
Never gets old for me. Max, how are you, my man?
Jim, it's obviously a pleasure to be. Sorry about that. It's obviously a pleasure to be reunited with the two of you, the gents that gave me my start in this freaking racket they call freaking gambling content. And I'll tell you, Jim and Peter, it's been a rough couple days for me. I started off the month very hot, and now I'm cold as ice. I had to actually go down to the homeless shelter last night to pick up a lady of the night. And I'll tell you, it was cheaper than going under a bridge, but it was not that enjoyable. There were some smells I wasn't very comfortable with, but I just laid her down and told her to be a starfish and just to take it. So I am definitely having fluids less freaking built up in me today, but I need to make some money so I can afford a high-end lady of the night and get the job completely taken care of.
Well, I have good news for you, Max. When I am in San Antonio, Big Show and myself will be going into the kitchen, and with your recipe, we are going to be filming cock soup. We are going to be cooking up cock soup. So please think about that. We have about a month and a half. Yeah, I don't know if Jose doesn't know. Oh, one hole didn't know about that. But yes, we are going to be filming your recipe of cock soup. I know that you have a chilled cock soup and all. Well, you know what? I digress. Let's get back to work here, but just keep that in mind, Max. We will be shooting that in San Antonio. Max, let's get to work. We have plays coming in from the chat, and we're so excited to have you on the show. Henry Dice getting us started with the first game on the board at 6 p.m. Eastern. North Carolina, Clemson. Clemson opening up as 1-point favorites. We see 1.5 and 2s on the board, and this total opening up at 149.5 has dropped 4 points down to 145.5. Max, UNC, Clemson, and Pete, anytime that you want to jump in on one of these spots, just jump in. Just
go to me first, and I'll give you my 5-second take. Unless I really like something, then I'll make it a 15-second take, okay?
Okay, perfect. North Carolina, Clemson.
I thought that this might be a spot to take UNC. Clemson is, a little bit banged up right now, and UNC, not necessarily an undervalued team in general, but they just got blasted by Duke by 20 points. Of course, Clemson has had UNC's number recently, but I was thinking that this might be, I didn't bet it, and it's now gone in the opposite direction, but I was thinking this is a spot to take UNC.
Pete, I agree with you on the spot. I think that when you look at Clemson's overall body of work, it just hasn't been as good as when these two teams first met up. I think that with North Carolina situationally coming off the Duke game and the Duke loss, you do want to get back on them. I do think that Dabby Cab is on UNC first half. I tailed him on that. Mm-hmm. And as far as the team total, that's where I see the value. I think that North Carolina definitely can eclipse 71 points. And I just think that that's where my numbers best are. I have UNC's team total at 73.5 projected for this game, even though it's a game that I also project to go under. So I expect a UNC rout. I expect a UNC team total over.
There
Jim, you
we
can
go.
put me down for UNC first half +1 -108. That's the current line of Pinnacle.
All right. Pete is on the board. UNC first half. Oh, what was that? -1 at?
+1 -108.
First half +1 -108. All right, Pete is on the board. Get your games in. We have Maxwell Smart in the house right now. Next up is our guy, Sammy Comer, wanting to talk Auburn, Arkansas, rotation number 623, 624. This total opened up at 149, it's up to 151.5. And oh, shoot. Sorry, that went off to the wrong page here. And from a spread perspective, we have Auburn opening up as 2.5-point favorites. That's just 2 now. Pete, anything on this?
No, pass for me.
Take it away, Max.
Sorry, Jim. This game is definitely a spot where Arkansas has the advantage because they're at home. This is the best SEC home team over the last 5 years or 6 years. I can't remember the stat that I saw on social media today about it. I think that Arkansas definitely has home dog ability. The biggest question is, from a matchup standpoint, how are they going to be able to stop Jabari Smith and how they can stop Walker Kessler on both ends? And if Arkansas is able to do that and they get a very nice outlier game from a guy like Chris Likes or frickin' Stanley Yamudi, they're going to be in business. I think that the one thing for Arkansas that's really flying under the radar for them is the fact that Jalen Williams is turning into one of the most dominant unknown big men in the conference. This is a game for him to really stand out. And if Arkansas is going to win, it's going to be because he has a big game for them.
All right, let's keep rolling. Next up, we have James S. He is looking at FAU ODU to get his card started. This is the other 6 p.m. game. So we've already talked UNC Clemson. This one pops off at 6 p.m. Eastern as well. ODU opening up as 6.5-point favorites. A couple books that moved it to 6. And this total at 134.5. And I think you're right, Max. So we'll go Pete, and then I won't say anything in between. There's no point. So we'll go Pete, then Max. So Pete, do you have any feel on Old Dominion, Florida Atlantic?
Yeah, I mean, Old Dominion definitely playing better and mostly very well right now, but it's very hard to bet against Florida Atlantic. If you gave me a free play, I probably would throw it on ODU, but total pass.
Yeah, I do think that the line is a little steep with FAU. FAU's been fantastic offensively when Mike Forrest and Elijah Martin are on. However, versus Old Dominion, historically and by the numbers, this could be a tricky game for them to win by more than 7 points. So I would lean towards ODU also.
All right, we are rolling through games fast and furious here. The next up is Akron, Northern Illinois. That's also from James S. Akron, NIU. And let's find this spot on the board. Rotation number 645, 646. This total opened up at 128.5. You can still find it there. And from the spread, Akron 8-point road favorites. FanDuel's moved it to 8.5. Pete, any feel here?
Yeah, I mean, if you gave me a free play, I would probably throw it on Northern Illinois, but I definitely didn't bet that pass for me.
Yeah, right. Northern Illinois at home has been a different animal, especially with Keyshawn Williams in the starting lineup. I think that they do have value as a home dog tonight. However, the play that I'm trying to get myself on is the full game under. I haven't been able to pull the trigger yet, but I am getting close to it.
Villanova St. John's, rotation number 649, 650. This pops off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. St. John's 4-point home dogs, and the total opening up at 145.5 is now down to 144.5, 143.5 at PointsBet. What do you think here, Pete?
My initial leans were St. John's and the under, but then I didn't like the Nova team total under, which I would if my numbers were matching up. So not exactly sure. It feels like a under. If you gave me a free play on it, I would take under, but I didn't bet it yet.
Yeah, the only thing that I looked at in this game was from a prop perspective and Colin Gillespie's 3-point makes. With him being the best 3-point shooter with a minimum of 80 3-point attempts in the Big East so far this season, he's putting up some numbers. I think that the book has definitely caught on to it. However, I'm willing to give it one more shot versus this perimeter defense and the tempo that's probably going to get played against St. John's tonight.
So you like the under as well?
No, I like Colin Gillespie's 3 points over.
Right, okay.
Next up, rotation number 613, 614. This comes to us from Michael E. He's looking at Ohio Toledo. This is rotation number, I said it already, 7 p.m. Eastern. The total opens up at 148.5, it's up to 150, 150. Oh, yeah, it is 150 over at Sugar House, 150.5 or 151.5 at DraftKings. And the spread had Toledo opening up as 4-point favorites. That's dropped to 2.5, 3 at some books. Pete, any feel here?
Yeah, I did take this one on the overnight line, and I did take the over at 148.5. There were some other lines that I bet that moved against me. This one moved in my favor, over 148.5. I took that, at 151. I guess I would still like it. Haven't run the numbers at that, but I did take the over 148.5.
Yeah, this is a spot where I think that we're going to see a real good rematch of Ohio losing at home to Toledo. This was a spot where it definitely can seem like a flip of the number and not really accurate number. I felt like Toledo definitely got out physical. They weren't able to make shots early, and then we saw what the result of that was. I think that against this Ohio team, you're going to see the best that they got, and I think that if Raheem Moss can be able to contribute like he has in recent games, I do think that Toledo has enough firepower to take care of business. But with Toledo at home, I agree with Pete. I think that Toledo's team total over would be more attractive because if they don't score points, they don't win the game.
Yeah, I also liked the team total over as well.
Let's move on to the next spot on the board. This also comes from Michael E. He wants to talk rotation number 663, 664, Illinois, Purdue. Purdue opening up as 6-point home favorites. That's moved to 5.5 at some books. And the total opened up at 148, and it's down all the way to 146 at points bet. There are some 146.5, some 147s. Pete, you take a look here.
Yeah, I liked Illinois. Maybe that's stupid. I know Purdue is awesome, but I liked Illinois. I missed the 6.5. I did take +6. Not huge. It was a second tier play, but I took Illinois +6. It's going to be a big game. More likely than not, I think, go down to the wire. Of course, the first time they played went to OT. And, Purdue's better, but I took Illinois +6.
Yeah, listen, I think that I'm rolling with Purdue first half. I think that with Jaden Ivey and his ability to freaking take over this game, and even though it is a talented backcourt for Illinois, it is a backcourt that has had some troubles with consistency, especially when Kofi Cockburn goes out with 2 fouls. I think that this is going to be a real physical matchup for him. And if he can't contain and score against Zach Edey and be able to keep him off the low block, well, I think that is going to be a similar result to the first game, except I think that the best edge is to take them first half.
All right, let's keep rolling. Lots coming in from our chat. Next up, Bill McDonald wanting to talk about your Huskies, Max. Not only that, but Crystal Warren earlier in the show, there it is, says, Max, I'm about to bet your Huskies. Talk me off the ledge. Pete, did you look at this spot?
Marquette, UConn, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took Marquette here, and I got 5.5, as much as I don't like to admit that. And I will also admit, in a way that I don't want to, that I'm a little bit confused by the line movement. Marquette, I think, is going to definitely get up for this game. I don't think it's a down spot for them, giving them that many points. I took them at 5.5. Now it's up to 6, slightly into the over as well, and that's also gotten bet down. So I'm wondering if someone's maybe out for Marquette, but that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think that with my Huskies, they have a blueprint and a game plan for beating this team. Get to the free throw line, be aggressive on the offensive glass, and be able to keep your turnovers under 10. If they're able to do that, then yeah, UConn is going to be able to win this game, but I have no faith in them. I'm not going to tell anybody in this chat watching this show or is on this goddamn screen to bet my Huskies. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to freaking try and burn your money like this. This team has issues producing when they are expected to. That Creighton game is ringing off in my brain once again. Marquette has been a very profitable team first half on the road and at home. And with Tyler Kolek and Justin Lewis and Darryl Morcell, they can give you enough scoring, but they can also give you good on-ball defense. And what does UConn struggle with, especially in the backcourt? Decision-making, taking care of the basketball, and making the extra pass. So I'm off this game. I'm not telling anybody what to do in this game, and I got no faith in my Huskies. I'm just a fan wanting them to beat Marquette and Shaka Smart.
Why did the line move? It was 5.5, and then it moved to 6. Why?
I think that because Sonogo was coming off the injury in that game and he played limited minutes, it forced UConn to be more perimeter oriented with Tyrese Martin and RJ Cole. Now they can go to their traditional offense, which is throw it down to the low block to Sonogo as their first option and then move to the perimeter from afterwards or whatever.
All right, and Maxwell Smart, one other question. If you had to take a bet on Marquette, you could either take first half +3 or full game +6. Free bet, which would you choose?
I would take the full game because my Huskies have a tendency to blow shit.
All right, you can put me down on Marquette +6 minus 110, Jimmy the Bag. I don't know why the line is where it is and why it's moved the way it did, but you can put me down on Marquette +6 minus 110.
Let's keep rolling. Rayhan, my man, you know it. We got to get in touch before then, so we have everything set up. But we're there.
Oh, shout out to Rayhan Hyder. Hell yeah.
Man, dope. I'm there from the 22nd to the 5th, but the big party's 24th to 31st, Rayhan. So next up, we have our guy, Jay Peasy, wanting to talk about Noli Knows Long Beach at home against the CS Fullerton. This total went from 144.5 to 146. And from a spread perspective, we have Long Beach opening up at -1.5. They're now 2 or 2.5 point dogs, Max. But let's start with Pete. What do you think here?
Pass. No opinion as of now.
Max?
Yeah, listen, it's a tough spot. And with the line movement, I think that it's really just shook me off of it altogether.
Let's keep rolling. Next up, our guy, Luke Murphy, wanting to talk UCF Wichita State. UCF Wichita State rotation number 661, 662. This pops off at 9 p.m. Eastern. UCF opening up as 1.5 point favorites. There's been no movement. And the total opened up at 133.5, is now up to 135.5 or 136. Pete, what do you think?
I wanted to reach over and take Central Florida, but I couldn't force myself to do it. Love to hear what Max has to say. Leaning Central Florida, but it's very scary. They're clearly a bit subpar. But if you gave me a free play as of right now, that's what I would probably do.
I think that with UCF, they got to be able to work the clock more. Against Wichita in their first game, what I saw that was a major issue was the fact that they were taking quick shots. They were doing a good job on the glass, and they weren't playing their type of game. I think that we're going to see this game slow down tonight. I do not think we're going to see a repeat of 160 points. I do think that this line going up overnight was great because if I wasn't down trying to pick up women at the homeless shelter, I would have bet the under 133. Let's look at the point range totals for both these teams, and you'll see that there's definitely a high probability of this under hitting. But Wichita State is a little suspect because they do get a little offensive minded sometimes. I don't think that's going to happen here in a more in a higher contested game, and UCF has that revenge. So if UCF wants to win this game, they're not going to let Travis Etienne go off from his catch and shoot threes. If you let Etienne hit threes, it's because he's catching and shooting them. When he has to dribble into it and create for himself, that's when he's throwing up bricks. UCF does that, they're going to win this game, and this game's going to stay under.
Kyle Hintley and wanting to talk Wyoming, Utah State. There's Jay Money in the house. Great to have you here, Jay. Thank you for rolling with us. This is rotation number 651, 652. It pops off at 9 p.m. Eastern. This total opened up at 143, dropped all the way down to 140.5 or 140. And Wyoming opened up as 2.5-point home favorites. That's now down to 1.5. There's Arthur Meade Jr. joining us. Pete, did you look at Utah State, Wyoming?
Yeah, but I want to look at it a little bit more. Wyoming is one of the most interesting programs in college basketball this year, and I have no play on it. Shout out to Arthur Meade. Shout out to NBA Talk with Jay Money. Shout out to Hoops 590. Shout out to Rayhan Hyder.
Yeah, listen, guys, I think that with this Wyoming team, I don't want to freaking downgrade Graham Ike and the quality that he's bringing to this lineup. However, when they do have their full arsenal of three-point shooters, that's when Wyoming is at their best. I think that this number is simply too short. I don't think Wyoming's going to have a letdown spot. I don't think that they're going to be able to give up that home court advantage because they have just such a solid, fundamental, sound system that they play. As long as Hunter Maldonado is on the floor, taking care of the basketball and directing this offense, Wyoming is going to win this game. I think that Utah State, yes, I like the fact that they have a good quartet of guards that they can run out there. However, the times that you can stop Justin Bean and Brandon Horvat from running the floor and getting easy buckets on you, well, those are the games that Wyoming will end up smashing them. If they can stop Justin Bean from going off for a 30-point game, I don't see why Wyoming isn't a good spot to get on the additional spread. Wyoming has been dominant at home. Some of their games have gone a little sticky at the end. But you know what? Who doesn't need to lose a couple minutes off their life and get a couple extra gray hairs? I think that this is a Wyoming play that I want to make as my first official play on the show. And I'm willing to back them at -5.5 at +140. So let's lock that in, Jim.
Wyoming.
Okay. While he's locking it in, shout out to DJ Big Boss. Hell yeah. And shout out to Ronnie, wherever he is. Bursting with talent. Hard to work with, but bursting with talent. Shout out DJ Big Boss and Ronnie from the bus, wherever he may be at this moment. Remember that, Jim? You get that inside joke, right?
Yeah. And shout out to Arthur Meade Jr. Thank you so much for the dono, man. It means a ton to us. Thank you for your support, my friend. So we have Max on the board. Wyoming -5.5 on alternate line at +140. We keep rolling. Next up, my guy, Jimmy Gomez, who we'll be sipping Henny with in San Antonio. He wants to talk rotation number 625, 626, St. Louis, LaSalle. LaSalle opening up as 8.5-point dogs. Now 7.5-point dogs. Come on, show me the hate. Sorry, and then the total here is just going to take me a quick second here. Opened up at 145.5, now down to 143.5 or even 142.5 at FanDuel. Pete, did you look at St. Louis, LaSalle?
Yeah, I did. Got to be liking LaSalle here, although in a nervous way. But got this many points, got to be liking LaSalle. Kind of 50-50 ATS overall, maybe improving a little bit and getting this many points. St. Louis, obviously, excellent team and not overvalued. But at this line, I would take LaSalle, and I did actually for a small amount.
I agree with Pete. I think that the difference for LaSalle is that Jameer Brickus is back. He's back in the starting lineup, and he is this conference's version of Posh Alexander. I think that Josh Nickelberry, the Louisville transfer, has done a fantastic job of really asserting himself in the backcourt and on the wings. And Clifton Moore, that's a guy that can give you a big game. He brings some natural 5-man size with some good side-to-side play. And he can block a couple shots for you. I like how this LaSalle team rebounds. That's what you got to do against St. Louis. You got to be physical, and you got to be over physical against them without fouling. If LaSalle can do that, Christian Ray, Khalil Brantley will be able to clean up some extra rebounds and supply some front court depth. And I think that this is a spot that if St. Louis doesn't come ready to play and get into the free throw line and making their free throws, they could lose outright.
So you think that LaSalle's recent, turnaround, I'll say, it was a nice win against GMU, and they played Davidson kind of close. You think that's for real, not fluky?
Yeah, I think so. I think that this team finally is churning at all freaking cylinders, and having Brickus back in the lineup is just such a big deal. He does so much on the floor that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, and his play on ball on the best guard on the opponent's defense is incredible. That's where I think that he makes such a big difference. And Pete, if this team starts hitting threes, watch out, because they can get to 80, 85.
Yeah. I'm just worried because you do see, against quality teams where they're a big home dog like VCU, they get blown the F out. You know what I mean? And they hung closer with Richmond, but still lost ATS. So I'm just worried that they're one of those teams that, has nice results as a small home dog against mediocre teams. And then you're like, oh, maybe they're not that bad. And then when they go up against the top teams, they get completely blown out.
I didn't think that George Mason was mediocre. I thought that game was definitely hard fought. And I think that they're going to be able to build off that. If this was a change of scenery, a change of location, I'd be looking at completely different because the line would probably be 11.5 for St. Louis. However, I just have to go with what I think is the right personnel decision. And the number, when you give me more than 2 3-point buckets, it's hard for me not to take that as a home dog in conference.
All right, you can put that down officially, Jimmy the Bag. It's I got 8.5. It's now down to 8. I'll take that one. +8 minus 110.
+8 minus 110. Okay, I will add that for Pete. That's Pete's first spot on the board. And let's keep rolling. Next up, Jimmy Gomez wanting to talk Manhattan Rider right now at Pinnacle. Manhattan 2.5-point dogs -109. This total at 140.5, slightly juiced to the under. Pete, you look at this.
Yeah, I did. Now I might have been wrong here. I didn't do too much in-depth research, but the numbers just said take Rider, so I did at -2.5. Maxwell Smart, no Rider -2.5 seems a little bit low to me.
Pete, that's the kind of low that I like a stripper to get, and it's a good type of low. You're on the right track with the Rider spot. Manhattan on the road is definitely formidable, but at this number, it's just too short and too sweet to pass up with Rider. However, I think that when you look at Rider and you look at some of their game logs, the thing that pops out most to me is the fact that this team, when they're lined in the 140s, pretty much regardless of the opponent, they have a good chance of putting that game under. I think that it's not going to suit Rider to go up and down with Manhattan. Slowing this game down, allowing Dwight Murray to run the half-court offense is the best deal. And if you get some good shooting from Allen Powell and DaVincio Vaughn, I do think that Rider brings this home. They don't need a lot of depth in this game, but they definitely need to slow it down and not turn it into a foul fest.
Next up from James Lill, looking at rotation number 647, 648, Syracuse, Boston College. This total opened up at 145. It's pretty much still there. A few books have dropped the hook to 144.5. And Boston College opening up as 4-point home dogs, now 4.5-point home dogs. Pete, you look at this one.
Yeah, very scary game to me. Total pass. Syracuse is slightly awesome over a short period of time recently. Totally scary game for me. Total pass.
Yeah, for me, Jim, it's all about Syracuse on the team total. It's hard to ignore a team that scored 89 or more in 3 straight games. And then when you see a total like this, and then you see a team total like you have on Syracuse right now, it is very hard not to bite on the bait. I'm going to end up biting on the bait. And I'm hoping that it's just food and it's not hooked to a fishing line, and I'm going to be the food.
Let's keep rolling. Next up, our guy, Dabby Cab, who's just doing a hell of a job with all of his action and sharing everything as well. He wants to talk, and I'm trying to find it here. TCU at home to Oklahoma State. TCU, the Horned Frogs in action here. TCU opening up as 3-point home favorites. That's moved to 3.5 at about half of the books. And then from a total perspective, we have, sorry, 1 second here. It's taking me, come on, show your rat face. What the hell? What did I, here we go. The total opened up at 128. It's now up to 129.5, 130, 130 and a half. Pete, do you look at this spot?
Yeah. The one thing here, most of these players, I have no idea who the hell they are, but I know this guy Miles for TCU, a big part of what they do. I'm seeing him as questionable. And of course, these two teams, you see it all the time, two very slow it down teams with totals at 130 or in the 120s, and you should actually be expecting like 115 or something. That one makes me a little bit nervous considering they already played once, but I do kind of like the first half under. Let's see what we got here right now. I'm assuming it's like, 60.5. Wow. Why is the total first half and full game getting bet up, Maxwell Smart? Because I was leaning first half under. That was what I was going to take here. And if I knew that Miles was 100%, I would take TCU if I could get him at like -1.5.
Yeah, I thought that TCU originally was a spot until I figured out about the Mike Miles injury. And of course, we know the next man up theory, and it worked out last time out. I do think that this is a team in TCU that has enough stability to withstand another game without him, but they're going to have to do some fundamentally things correct. Stay out of foul trouble, limit their turnovers, and take good freaking opportunities at the 3-point line or leave them alone. I think that's the big thing for this TCU team. When I looked at this game and I had Mike Miles in it, I was going to take them on the additional spread. But until I find out what the status of Miles is, I'm not willing to do anything. But
I can almost.
They are. Yeah.
It opened at 3. Now it's 3.5. It guarantee you Miles is in. There's no way Miles would be out and the line would open at 3 and then up to 3.5.
Yeah, because when I watch TCU, the main thing that I take from watching their games is that they're going to fucking make you very angry. You're going to get frustrated watching them shoot threes. It's not their thing. But when they close out on you and they're able to really alter that shot, that's when TCU's at their best. And if you're going to see that early on and they're not leaving guys open, TCU's going to run away with this game. So I'll make an official play, but I'll tell you right now, I have not bet it yet. Is that okay, Jim?
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
So then let's go with TCU -5.5 plus the 125. And let's make this play official, assuming Mike Miles is going to be in the lineup.
All right, let's do that. So we have
maybe this is a mistake, but you can throw on the first half under for me, Jimmy the Bag. I'm seeing 61 -112 at Pinnacle right now. You can throw that one on there.
First half under
61 -112.
minus 112. And Max, TCU -5.5 at plus 125.
Yes, sir.
All right, Max is on the board for a second time. We are almost done here. Jay Money says, I'm with Pete. I think Miles comes back today. And when I say done, I mean we are almost done NCAA basketball.
But Jimmy, can I ask something? When we're done with the games that people have requested, can I just do a quick hitter with Max on a few bets that I made? See what he says.
Absolutely. So then we'll have this as the last game. And sorry we didn't get to all of you. We'll get to DJ Big Boss here, whom we love dearly. Shout out to DJ Big Boss. And Boss, this was sent to us. I'm sure you know her. We don't know her, but this was sent to us. She just wanted to say hello and that she misses you dearly, Big Boss. So there you go. We have Boss wanting to talk Missouri Vanderbilt. And this is rotation number 659, 660. This total opened up at 130, now 131.5. And from a spread perspective, we have Vanderbilt opening up at 7.5-point favorites, now 8-point favorites. Pete, you look at this spot.
Yeah, I mean, slight lean to the over, even at the low total, and it's gotten bet up. And then once again, I feel like on the show there was another time when Missouri was getting when I liked them on the opening line, then they got bet against, and I didn't understand it, and then they covered easily. Vanderbilt -8 against Missouri. I don't know about that. I would definitely be slight lean to the over, much bigger lean, I think, to Missouri +8, and biggest lean of all would be Missouri team total over.
I agree with Pete on Missouri team total over. I do think that with Vanderbilt at home, we've seen enough instances that we can draw a proper conclusion that this team will go over this type of number, especially in the low 130s. If we're talking the mid 140s or the low 140s, it's a completely different story. But when I look at that game against LSU, it went over by 9 points. When I look at that game that they played against freaking South Carolina, that game went over by 2.5 points. So there's a ton of game log to to validate that play. And I think that with Missouri, we got to learn our lesson betting against this team as a close to double-digit dog. On the road, definitely a little more suspect than at home. However, I agree with Pete also. I lean towards Missouri, but I definitely like a Vandy home game to go over, even involving this Missouri team.
Yeah, that was be careful with we. I never needed to learn that lesson. That was the Mississippi game, was the Ole Miss game. They were an 8-point dog, and I was like, why are they that big of a dog? They wound up winning by 20. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen here, but why? How is Vanderbilt an 8-point favorite or a 7-point favorite and then getting bet up? I just don't get it. Is someone out for Missouri?
No, I don't think that there's anybody out. Jerron Coleman and Amari Davis were in. Javon Pickett, I think, returned last time out. He's the only guy that could be out of the lineup or dealing with an issue.
Is this some kind of down spot? I know Vanderbilt is a tough place to play because of the weird court and all that, but I just don't get it. I'm scratching my head here a little bit. I don't want to waste too much time here, but so what's your play on this one, Max?
Yeah, I like your team total over. I think that if you're going to make an official play of the 3, that would be the one. And I like the over in the game. So hopefully Noli Knows is not listening because he'll call me an over better later.
All right, Jimmy the Bag, you can add that one on. Missouri team total over 62 minus 110. I'm seeing that at Heritage right now. Team total over 62 minus 110. And I'd also be leaning slightly to the over at 131.5 or 132, and a lot more to Missouri at +8. I just don't quite see. I mean, they can lose by double digits to a team like Vanderbilt, but is that going to happen 45% of the time? I'm just not really seeing it.
Well, Cab says that he's got to step my game up, start looking at those alternate lines that Max hits. That's not the only place you need to step your game up. You need to start looking at what DJ Big Boss hits. And we have another clip here of some ladies that Boss, he's just about to jump in there. But yes, Pete, this is your chance now to discuss the spots that you want to talk about. And I will take that picture off in about maybe 8 to 10 seconds.
No problem. I'm loving this picture, Jimmy the Bag. I'll jump in there anytime.
Well, that actually reminds me of my days when I was a teenager cruising in cars down the street, yelling at old women. Excuse me. Hey, baby, you want some ice cream? I got vanilla for you. So it was bad.
All right, Pete, fire your questions away.
All right, Maxwell Smart. First thing I did, this one was my favorite play on the board, and it definitely moved against me. I took Western Michigan, Miami, Ohio under. I got 144.5. Now I think it's down to 139.5, but I might throw that on officially anyway, even at 139.5. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think that Western Michigan and Miami are going to play under basketball, and a gypsy told me, so I believe in that.
All right, well, I got 144.5. I should have tweeted out. The thought did occur to me, but all right, I hope I don't get burned by this, but I'll take it. You can throw that one on there. Under, now it's 139.5 minus 110. You can throw that one on there, Jimmy the Bag, okay?
Yes, sorry, I was kind of caught up in the wrinkled goddesses we had on the screen. What's that spot there?
139.5 Miami and Western Michigan under 139.5 minus 110. I got 144.5. I hope it doesn't land in the middle, but whatever.
Okay, let's
okay. Next one. I'm actually shocked that no one requested this game. You probably know what I'm going to talk about here, what I'm going to bring up, Maxwell Smart. Wisconsin and Michigan State, right? I will admit that I grabbed Michigan State I missed the -4.5, and I had to take Michigan State -4. Not sure why it's going down. I'm liking Michigan State first half and full game -4. That was a pretty embarrassing performance from Michigan State in their last game. Tom Izzo off an embarrassing performance is usually a pretty good spot. Michigan State, is that not a great bet at -4 wherever it is right now?
That's a dangerous bet when the game involves Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis can take over the game himself. I'm a little nervous for you, Pete.
Really? So you don't really like Michigan State here?
No. I think that if they get off to a good start, you can bet 2 games within 1. I'm just worried about how they play with the lead, even at home.
Really? Who's Johnny Davis? Who is that? Who the fuck is that?
Johnny Davis is the Bulldog. He's a top 5 scorer in the nation, and he's the reason why Wisconsin wins basketball games.
Right. I knew that, just for other people who might not know who Johnny Davis is. All right, listen, you can throw me on Michigan State first half -2, -110, Jimmy the Bag.
Michigan State first half. Sorry, Michigan State first half -2, -110.
All right, and let me just quickly look at some of the others. I did take a shot with I kind of like South Carolina getting all those points, kind of like the over and South Carolina team total over. What about that, Max?
I actually thought that number has gotten up so high that I was leaning towards taking the under. South Carolina has been an under team at this number, and Kentucky's been a coin flip.
Yeah, I took small. I took South Carolina plus 11.5. Now it's 10.5, and I took the over at 141.5. Now it's 145.5, and I would still, I think, be liking South Carolina team total over at 66.5. But I guess I'll hold off for now. Let me just quickly make sure there's nothing else. Yeah, I took the St. John's under. Sorry, at 145.5, and I also took small. I know the West Coast games you tend to stay away from, but I took a small shot with Pacific and USC under 135.5. It's a non-conference game. I think USC is just going to want to get a win and get out of there. Pacific has some big conference games coming up this week. I think it's going to be a relatively calm game, and I took a shot with under 135 in Pacific USC.
I 100% agree on the under 135. USC has played a lot of under basketball in this point range on the point spread, and I do not think that this game matters to either of them. They just need to get it in the books.
All right, you can put that as well, Jimmy the Bag. USC Pacific under 135 -110.
USC Pacific under 135 -110.
Okay.
Pete locked and loaded. We got to move on to NBA. Do you have any more?
Go ahead. No, that's all right. That's all right. That's okay.
All right, let's review action right now. Let's review action. We have Pete on UNC first half +1 at -108. Marquette +6 at -110. LaSalle +8 at -110. OK State TCU first half under 61 at -112. Missouri team total over 62 at -110. Miami Western Michigan under 139.5 at -110. Michigan State first half -2 at -110. USC Pacific under 135 at -110. Max is on Wyoming -5.5 at +140, and TCU -5.5 at +125. There you have it. Our NCAA breakdown today from the Cupcake King, Maxwell Smart. Max, any last words for the great Capper Sport?
My life has been changed on this appearance, seeing those visuals of those loose-skinned 75-year-old women, and now I want to go outside and shout at some. So I'll have a good day. You have a good day. Let's get these 2+ money winners, and hopefully I don't get arrested.
Yes, we will always hope for that. There he is, Maxwell Smart. Let's move on to NBA. We go from college basketball to NBA basketball. Please welcome to the show, direct from Compton, California. We got Wham Bam in the house. TrotWAM, what's happening, my man?
What's happening? What's up? What's up with the chat? What's up with Peter? How you doing, sir? How you doing, Jimmy?
Oh, I'm feeling good, great, bro. Man. TrotWAM, yes, last week with you and Jimmy was like the best single day I have had in the NBA in 10 years. So I'm hoping we can approximate that today again.
Yeah.
Hey, man. You guys were on point, bro.
Board sweepage from Pistol Pete Loshak. And Pete, so that day you took Heat first quarter, first half. They both cashed easily. I took Heat full game, and it lost. You were just everything that you did was money, but the important thing that you did was you got yourself back into plus units, which puts you in plus units in NBA, NCAA, and NHL. All three, Pete, and we have enormous respect for that. Let's just
not NFL, probably NFL too, though.
Probably.
I had two winners right before the Super Bowl.
Yes, you did. Yes, so then you are, because I have not updated all those numbers at this point from the conference finals. So yes, you would definitely be up there. But you hit Wizards first half team total under 55.5 easily. They scored 40 points. And I cashed that first quarter under 27.5. And then you cashed the Pelicans Detroit under 216.5. Pete, it was spectacular work.
Yeah.
There is Tiffany. Tiffany saying, "Wham, the GOAT, my guy. Let's get to work." Dennis Garcia says, "First, ask Wham about the CJ trade. Hot off the press. Wham, what do you think of this move for the Pelicans?"
Man, that's crazy. Yes, the Pelicans are trying to keep Zion as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I say. They're trying to keep Zion. Obviously, he doesn't seem like he wants to be there. The reason why, he's not in shape, all the other things is transpiring here. And maybe it's a freak accident. We could say that as well. But CJ is going to be definitely what they need. They're trying to get someone that can score and also distribute the ball. Assists for CJ, I expect to go up, especially if BI make quick movements. BI is going to have somebody else to close with him. It's definitely something to add there. It's going to be interesting. And then it's also interesting as well to see now you have a point guard that can actually do what you want. And this is really what Willie Green, what is he going to do? So it's a lot of things I'm thinking about going into this trade. But I'm excited, man. And then also, what the fuck the Lakers doing? But I'll leave that alone.
Yeah, and I live bet that Lakers game for 3 hours, Lakers Knicks, and I had, Lakers. I wasn't as ballsy as North Ender. North Ender put $100 on the Lakers at plus 925. Returned over a K.
Nice.
I had the Lakers plus 130. Then I started taking them. Then I took them plus 4.5. Then I took them plus 11 or 9.5 and 11.5. The problem was I started hammering the under 227.5, under 229.5, under 231.5, under 232.5. The live total got down to 214.5. And then the Lakers hit 2 of 7 from the stripe in the last 2 minutes. And the game went into overtime. And I was just about as angry as I've ever been. I was also, drinking heavily. And that combination you won't see in San Antonio because I'll be so happy the whole entire time. Let's get right to work right now. Again, we have Pistol Pete Loshak coming off sweeping the board last week in NBA, up units in every sport here that we break down. And I was
just listening to TrotWAM, reading the comments section. You know what I'm saying, Jimmy the Bag? Only my record in MLB is something that I will take full credit for. Everything else, most of the credit goes to the people I'm listening to.
Well, you taught us that the most important thing in capping when we cap with a group like we do is to listen. But Pete, you go 4-0. You beat. You just destroyed it. So let's just get to work. Let's get to work right now. 7 p.m. Eastern. We start with Phoenix Suns 43-10, 21-5 on the road at Philadelphia 76ers 32-21, 14-11 at home. We're at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Phoenix 4-1 over their past 5, 20th in pace at 97.5 possessions a game. Philadelphia 3-2, 28th in pace at 93.75 possessions a game. That's what I was going to say. You still have the I went blank there. You still have the birthday pick to give out to our guy Von Polo representing Charm City, and you went 2-0 on birthday picks yesterday. So shout out to Von Polo. There he goes. There he says, "I love NBA," and there's Ski Profit saying cap the Cappers, and Ski Profit on the Sixers minus 115. And doesn't that make a ton of sense here? And also we see the Suns as another favorite on the first half of a back-to-back, letting go in the fourth quarter once they have the big lead. And I wish I was 15 years younger and could just sit here and live bet all day. Okay, so let's move over, talk market moves in this spot, and talk about what we're dealing with. Sixers open up at minus 2.5. We have ones across the board. This book here is telling me that DraftKings has moved the Sixers to +1. I don't know if anybody can verify. Is that facts, Wham?
I've seen FanDuel at +1 as well.
Wow. Okay. So
let me double check. Let me update. Yeah, it's
favorite.
at +1 too. Oh no, I'm sorry. I think I see them at -1.
Okay, that's what I have here. Yeah, I have -1 at FanDuel, +1 at DraftKings. I don't know, but I'll double check on that. This total opening up at 216. We now see 218.5. There are still some 217s. And then when we go into where the cash lies in this game, we have the 8,612 tickets in, 74% of tickets, 89% of cash on the Phoenix Suns. And the only reason why I'm hesitant I don't want to bet the Sixers is because the great Dennis Garcia got me on the Raptors late to win the division, 28-1. It's now 9-1 on the 6-game winning streak. Shout out to Dennis Garcia. And that's the only reason why I don't want to bet the Sixers, but it makes sense to me here. This total opened up at 78% of tickets on the over and 81% of cash on the over. Suns are on the second half back-to-back after winning at Chicago 127-124 last night. Booker goes for 38. Paul goes for 19-11. McGee goes for 16-8. Bridges 15 points, 8-13-9. Crowder 10-6. Sixers snapped their 2-game losing streak, also beating Chicago. That was on Sunday, 119-108. Embiid went for 40-10, 21st straight game with at least 25 points. And I don't know if we have an update on Thibault, shoulder, Shake Milton back, but Korkmaz did return on Sunday. Pistol Pete, what do you think of this spot, Suns Sixers?
My first thought was under at 218. I did bet it small. I see it's down a little bit now. The side, if Ski Prophet says he likes Philly here, that makes sense to me. It's scary to bet against Phoenix, but that's probably the way to go. My personal opinion was slightly under at 218. More than slight. Modest.
Take it away, Wham Bam. So that's what we'll do, Wham. I'm not going to talk in between. We'll just.
That sounds perfect. That's perfect. That's totally fine. And you know what though? I think Ski being on the Sixers is kind of like opening it up for me now. I could see that happening here. I just think that the Phoenix Suns are going to be able to score. So I think they've been scoring, and I believe that they will still be able to score in this game because they're going to pound the ball. Both of these teams, they're known to be slow. So, thinking about it on that aspect, they're known to be slow. As far as the pace of these two teams, I think for the last 5 games, you're seeing that my apologies here. My apologies. I believe you have them on the slow pace here. But as far as the first quarter, last 3 road games, both of those went over for the Suns. In the last 3 home games, both of those went over for the Phoenix Suns. I'm sorry, for the Philadelphia 76ers. It's kind of tricky though, because you got guys involved in trade situations. Maybe trades are getting shut down. You kind of want to be treading lightly right now, especially when you see trades starting to get fired off. And 2 of these teams play today that got trade situations going on. I'm sorry. But I believe that this team will probably have most of their guys in there. As far as Steph Curry, you're going to see Embiid in this lineup. I'm very interested in seeing the matchup with Ayton and Embiid. But to be honest with you, we know that the reason why my boy liked the Sixers because he know that Embiid is going to be the better player here. And that's just to say. And as far as this, Philadelphia, they're allowing the same amount that Philly is averaging at the house here. And over the last 5 games, 40. They're giving up 40 rebounds as far as the Suns. The Suns are giving up a lot of rebounds, and I believe that you're going to see the 76ers being able to capitalize there. So that being said, I kind of would agree with I would agree with them, but I didn't do it because, like you said, Jimmy, it's just the Suns. I'm scared to go against them there, but I like the over here. I got it at 53.5 in the first quarter. It's at plus money. I think that trend continues for both teams. Again, it's hit the last 3 games at the house for the Sixers, and it hit the last 3 games on the road for the Suns. So I believe that that's the good play here in this spot. I believe they're both going to score on each other, and 53 may be a good spot. But I agree with Ski too with the Sixers. Just I don't want to go against the Suns, especially being off of back-to-back. I think they're good off of back-to-back. I'm sorry, they're good off of road games here as well. They're one of the best road games, and they're 7-3 ATS in their last 10 road games there. So, I don't want to go in front of that, but I agree with bro. But I like the first quarter.
All right. Well, TrotWAM liking the over. Dan Kelly liking the first half over as well and says he bought points for the full game over. Ski Prophet liking Philly. I'm definitely off the under. And I'm thinking maybe Philly team total over.
That is an official pick from Dan Kelly. First half, Phoenix, Philadelphia over 106 at minus 120. So, Wham Bam, are you making that first quarter over official?
That's official. That's the actual play for me. 53.5. I got that plus money, but it's at minus 110. I think throughout, market wide there. So we'll give it that -110. Ain't no big thing.
All right. Well, let's just see if we can beat that quickly at Penny for the first quarter over in this spot. First quarter over 53.5 at -104.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
There. Low vig there for Wham. All right, Wham is on the board. Dan Kelly is on the board. We'll see if Pete also gets on the board. And I find this game very fascinating, but I need a little bit more time with it. Pete, are you cool to move on?
Yeah, I'm an inch away from taking Philly team total over at 108.5, but I guess for now I'll just hold off.
7:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Indiana Pacers 19-36, 6-21 on the road at Atlanta Hawks 25-28, 15-12 at home. We're at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Pacers 1-4 over their past 5, 7th in pace at 99.60 possessions a game, while Atlanta is 2-3, 9th in pace at 99.20 possessions a game. Sorry, I'm on money line. Let's move over to spread. We have the Hawks opening up as 6-point favorites. That's up to 10.5. 10.5. This total opened up at 221.5 and is up to 227. Wow. So big market moves there. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, and wow, going back to the cash flow, the money's all over that over in Suns Sixers. I imagine this is just going to keep going up and away. I think I should join you guys now, but I'm going to keep thinking on that one. In the Pacers-Hawks spot, we have 6,884 tickets in, 72% of the tickets on the Hawks, but they don't give me a money count. And then on the total, they have 89% of tickets on the under and 66% of cash. That's interesting as it's gone up so high. Pacers coming off their third straight loss, 98-85 Cleveland on Sunday. Duarte goes for 22. They're a different team without LeVert. And Malcolm Brogdon still questionable, dealing with the right Achilles soreness. He hasn't played since January 19th. Hawks coming off their second straight loss. I believe I don't have that in front of me. Second straight loss, 103-94 at Dallas on Sunday. The Hawks struggled from long range, 5 of 25. Trey goes 0 for 6. Atlanta, 14 for 54 from 3 over their past 2 games. I wonder if coming home they'll get hot or they'll feel better, but again, it's just going to be a sleepy State Farm Arena with the Pacers in town. Take it away here, Pistol. Pacers Hawks.
This is one of the plays that I liked on the overnight line. Obviously, it's a big Atlanta spot. If it was -6, I would take it. I probably would take it at 10 or 10.5 as well. Not sure about the total, but got to be thinking Indiana team total under is the play. They're kind of just selling off pieces and probably disinterested. And this is Atlanta's lost 2 in a row, right? I think they'll crack down. It's actually kind of a high total, 108 or so. I guess I'll make that official even before I hear what anyone else or read what anyone else has to say about it. I'm seeing 108.5 at Heritage. I'll take that. Pacers team total under 108.5 -110.
Pete, Pacers team total under 108.5 at -110. Pete's on the board. Take it away, Wham.
And man, that makes a lot of sense. They're one of the people that I was talking. Well, one of the teams, the organizations that I was trying to explain as far as already made trades that probably have guys coming in and out the lineup. LeVert is out of the lineup, of course. That's a lot of points being taken away from this team. He was shooting the most, averaging the most minutes, and also having the most shot attempts and scoring. Points, which is in LeVert. So without him, that means more. Goes towards, Chris Duarte, Justin Holiday. Justin Holiday is actually shooting the most threes. So if you think about this team in both of our bottom 10 in defense over the last 5 games, right? And you're looking at the Hawks, they're dead last in opponents' 3-point percentage over the last 5 games in that span, giving up 45% to 3, about 15 3-point makes in the first half. They're kind of giving it up there. It's kind of tough, to be honest with you. I'm looking at only Justin Holiday, probably threes here. I think it's at 2.5. That's the way I'm probably looking at him in this spot. But this is a tough game to me because I think the line is probably appropriate. You're getting offense from the Hawks here. You're going to see them play a little bit better. But on the defensive side, are they going to play that well? I don't think so. So, it's kind of one of those type of deals here because you still got some bonus here. You still got some bonus being able to be available here. You got guys that's trying to find their way out. They see one guy leave, you know what I mean? what about me? I'm trying to get up out of here too. So I expect some people to have a little bit more motivation today. If they are on that cuffs of trades or things of that nature, try to play as well as they can. Maybe they're auditioning today. So I think this is a good audition game, in my opinion, because you're going against a team that can blow you out in the Hawks, but I think they're going to give it up as well. So I expect the points to come from the Pacers here, and I like the 3-point props on their side, like Chris Duarte and Justin Holiday. Those are the two guys I'm looking for. But I haven't made a bet in this game, so I haven't made a bet in this game. I'm kind of off of it right at this point. You know what I mean? So if you did make that official already, I'm not mad at you, and I hope you cashed though, P. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you know, but the way I'm looking there and what I wrote down, I ain't gonna lie. I'm just gonna tell you what I wrote down, and that's how I'm looking in this game. Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah. It just seems like an obvious big beatdown spot for the Hawks, right?
No, for sure. I agree. I agree with that.
Pete, why would you prefer full game over first half in case the Hawks go up 15 or 20 and kind of, you know, put their foot off the gas and the Pacers bench players keep fighting?
I don't know.
You did sweep the board last week, so I want to.
You did. I'm not questioning. We're not questioning none of this shit.
I think I might be on the wrong side, but it's definitely a beatdown. Well, I would take Atlanta even minus 10 or 10.5.
Well, we have at Bet365 right now that full game team totals at 108.5, and it's even juice each way. But first half is at 55.5 for the Pacers, and it's heavily juiced to the under.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me, I think the look makes sense to me, Pete, because the Hawks are going to be an angry group here. It's going to be a sleepy arena, but they're going to be an angry group. I think they take control early. So, and I do think, you know, I agree with the idea that we've probably missed the move here from a side perspective. And let me just see what the first quarter would be if they come out firing, and maybe a first half under for the Pacers, but a Hawks first quarter team total over. I'll have to look into that a little more here. Why isn't this not refreshing? Okay, let's keep rolling though. In the first quarter, -4. That's a lot. And the team total for the first quarter, I would have here is 31.
They've been good on the road too.
Dan Kelly says Indy's psychological state is way down. I saw it versus Cleveland on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this Hawks team, they're good at the house, man. You know, they won 7 of the last 10 games covered, you know, outright. You know what I mean? So, you know, I could see them winning this game and holding down, and they don't get to play Indiana Pacers, you know, in any of these stats that I'm talking about. So that doesn't mean anything, you know what I'm saying? As far as I think it is a good spot for Pete to cash that team total.
I like the look. I just think I'm going to lean towards first half. Let's move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We have another spot for Dan Kelly. Third quarter, Boston -4.5 at +140. And let's pop it up here because it's a great comment that he writes, and that's why we have him as the database master. He says, it's one of my favorite fade situations tonight. They're home for one game in 2 days after a trip of more than 3 games, then back on the road the next. So things are going to fall apart there in that second half. Illuminating. Thank you for sharing that with us, Dan.
Very interesting.
Yeah, man, I love it. Celtics Nets. Celtics 30-25, 12-15 on the road. Nets 29-24, 12-13 at home. We're at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Boston 5-0 on a 5-game win streak. 5-0 over the past 5 14th and pays at 98.3 possessions game. While Brooklyn has now lost 8 straight. I believe it's 8 straight loss. They're 2-9 since KD went down. Yeah, 8 straight loss at 124-104 at Denver on Sunday. 23rd in pace, 97.30 possessions a game. Teams moving in vastly different directions. We have this total opening up at 216.5. It's dropped all the way down to 212.5. And then from the spread, we have the Nets opening up as 4.5-point dogs. It was 6.5. Now Harden's out, so it's 8.5. My goodness, what they're falling apart at the seams. And when we go to the cash flow in this spot, we have 10,327 tickets in, 84% of the tickets, 99% of the cash on the Celtics. Then we have 39% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the under. Just wild. Celtics 116.83 win at the Magic. That was on Sunday. Brown goes for 26, Schroeder 22, Tatum 15, 9, and 7. And this is a Nets team that has, well, we're not sure now that they're home, but LaMarcus Aldridge being out with the ankle injury, Nick Claxton out with the hamstring injury, and Joe Harris still waiting to return from ankle surgery. Pete, any feel here?
No, just let's have TrotWAM give his opinions.
Let's hear it, Wham.
Yeah, man, this is probably a backwood for me too. If you didn't get on Boston earlier before all this dropped off, you don't want to look at it right now. And then honestly, I would be scared to even bet Boston right now, because after we've seen so many line movements when star guys are out, the team may actually end up winning outright. You know, the team that's getting all the love there, the other team actually loses. So it's just kind of one of those things. I don't want to jump on this the opposite way. I did write down information here, of course, on this game, but I'm probably not going to have any action on it. I will say though, the game, the thing I am, come on, my guy even hit it in the chat when I was about to say it. Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists. I gotta go to it one more time, bro. And this is the reason why, though. As far as Boston, they're 10th in defensive rebound percentage, so they're gonna kill the boards even without Harden in the lineup. We're gonna kill the boards regardless. And because Brooklyn is dead last in that category over the last 5 games, and as far as defensive rebound percentage. But that's not only was problem with Brooklyn. They're still giving up the second most assists to opponents in that same span over the last 5 games. So I was thinking, man, Marcus Smart has to be a look here. So this is actually, I do have action here, and I did make this official play. I'm off fault, Jimmy. I was about to get y'all. I don't like the side here. I don't like the total, but I am on a prop here. I did take Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists. I got it at minus 108. You may be able to get that a little bit better, because I think throughout certain markets on East Coast, they may open it up a little bit more at plus money, plus 101, something around that range, maybe even towards the end of tip. So, you know, if you didn't bet it yet, like I did it, you know, I wouldn't be so mad about it. That's the official play for me, though. Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists. He's been one of those guys that's been getting called out. Minus 101 at BetOnline. My guy Ski said right now, I appreciate you, bro. He's been there for him. He just didn't get it last game because everybody had assists. Everybody was passing the ball. Everyone had like 5 assists except for him. He was only one. It was just one of those anomaly type games. I believe he could get right back to it. He was hitting this at a consistent rate. If you look at his last 4 games, he's hit this 3 times. I'm sorry, over his last 5 games, he's hit this 4 out of the last 5 games. So it is still good look right there as far as Marcus Smart. Y'all know it. If y'all watch us on Plus Sports, I'm here all the time. I always talk about this play. This is something that's auto bet for me. So Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists. That is the official play. But as far as the side here, I don't think, it's just too out of reach. I wouldn't be surprised if Brooklyn actually even wins this game, because what we've seen recently, especially over the last few weeks, line movements when star guys get out, it's kind of look a little tricky, man.
I feel you. You are locked in with Smart there. Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern. LA Clippers 27-28, 11-15 on the road at Memphis Grizzlies 37-18, 19-9 at home. We're at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Clippers 2-3 over their past 5, second in pace, 101.5 possessions a game, while Memphis 4-1, sixth in pace, 99.62 possessions a game, 4-1, also 18-4 since December 26th. We have Memphis. Where are we? Here we go. Memphis opening up as 7.5-point favorites. It is now 8.5 at most books. Some books are still hanging in 8. From a total look, it opened at 228.5, and it is down to 226.5. When we take a look at the cash in this spot, we have 11,058 tickets in. It's the most bet game on the board. 78% of the tickets on the Grizzlies, 99% of cash. Then 30% of tickets on the under, but 48% of cash on the under, and the market moving towards the under. Clippers coming off an ugly 137-113 home loss to the Bucks on Sunday. Norman Powell goes for 28 in his Clipper debut off the bench. It was impressive. He came in with Covington for Bledsoe, Keon Johnson, Justice Winslow, and a second round pick in 2025. LA's 10-13 since December 26th. Grizzlies coming off their second straight win, 135-115 at Orlando on Sunday. Ja goes for 33. 8 out of his last 9 games, he's gone for at least 30. Memphis has won the first quarter in each of its last 6 wins, I should say. And they're handling everything without Dylan Brooks fine. And it's Desmond Bane who stepped up offensively in a big way. He has at least 20 points in 5 of the 11 games since Brooks went down. And Jaren Jackson has 7 games of 20 or more since Brooks went down. And he went for 26 and 10 double-double Wednesday at New York. Pistol, Clippers, Grizzlies.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it. Memphis is starting out strong, and especially offensively. So I was thinking about like maybe a first quarter over. I was expecting maybe 57 or 57 and a half, but I'm seeing 55 and a half, which has me scratching my head. Also, the Memphis team total over in the first quarter, I was thinking maybe 30. It's actually 29. And I was thinking maybe Memphis first half as well. I really want to hear TrotWAM in the comment sections breakdown on what's up with the Clippers right now. Are they a dumpster fire or not that bad?
I mean, man, it's a tough thing, like as far as the capping this Clipper team, because they're not like the Lakers. They're going to get that public eye here. They're going to just go underneath the radar. You know, no one really is going to pay too much attention to them as much. Their fan base is very small and everything, whatever. But they have been bad in the first half. They're 3-7 at last ATS on the road. Last 10 road games in the first half. They are 3-7 ATS. You could look at this this Memphis team, who's number 2 in that span. For the season, in the first half for the season, just underneath just a game, I believe, underneath the Memphis Grizzlies. And I know that offhand because I was looking at it earlier. But the last 10 games, they're 7-10 in the first half ATS. I do like the look early for Memphis here. I wouldn't talk no one off of that spot, but as far as the full game, I stay away from it though. Like my guy said, it's the most heavily bet game. I'm sure all that I blanked out towards the money here, but I thought I heard him say Memphis was getting a lot of love here as far as the full game here. I expect, it to be some little trickery shit going on here, some NBA fuckery. Especially they just got Norman Powell. Norman Powell did take a lot of, I think he had 6 3-point attempts first game back. So, I think Ty Lue already showed that he wants this guy to shoot. I wouldn't be super surprised here. I don't know, man. What my guy, Dan, it's an important thing to cut is focus, and that's for sure. And you know what, though, man? They can. I think the thing about what they are focusing on, Dan, I think they focus on the Lakers' demise, man. They're just trying to be good. They got guys that's not coming in. Kawhi is not playing this year. They don't give a fuck. They're not really going for a championship. They're just trying to be really good in the Pacific standings. That way the Lakers be bad, bro. I think it's more personal right now, especially with the moves that you're seeing Jerry West, the logo, has been making. He's already come out against the family and everything already. What? Neither here nor there. But as far as this Clippers team, I do like this Clippers team, man. I would think of betting them a full game here, but I do like the first half. Memphis, I did see it at -4.5. That is something I'm really close at betting there. I think the first half is the livest spot for me.
You like the Clippers offensively or defensively?
I think offensively we don't know really because they just got I like them what they're doing. I do like what they're doing as far as what Telu does in certain moments, but sometimes he does do some bonehead shit like have not Coffee, but BJ Boston try to take the last game-winning shot, things of that nature, just dumb shit like that. But that being said, I do see that this team could stick around against Memphis, even though Memphis has owned them the last 3 games, covered and won the last 3 games.
I just don't understand why the first quarter total is so low relative to what Memphis has been doing and relative to the game total.
And the pace that both teams are playing. Clippers second in pace over the last 5 games.
And yet you have a first quarter total of 55.5. That's no accident, Jimmy the Bag and TrotWAM.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's not an accident.
Let's keep rolling. We'll see if additions come throughout the show. Next up, 8 p.m. Eastern, Houston Rockets 15-38, 7-21 on the road at New Orleans. Pelicans 21-32, 11-13 home at Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Houston 1-4 over their past 5, 11th in pace at 99 possessions game, while the Pelicans are 3-2, 26th in pace at 95.30 possessions a game. Pelicans open up as 7-point favorites. The McCollum trade is announced. They go to 9 or 9.5 point favorites. This total here opened up at 226.5 is now 225.5, 225, or even a 224.5 is available. We have 6,266 tickets in. 37% of the tickets on the Pelicans, but 66% of the cash. And then we have 66% of the tickets on the under and 82% of cash on the under. And it's dropped a point or a point, 2 points here. And the trying to get these unders in Rockets games have been hurting me. On Friday night, I was waiting to see how high it was going to go up, in the Rockets Spurs game. It got up to 237. I was like, could I get the hook? Then it moved to 236.5. And I was like, okay, I'll bet it now. This was maybe 30 minutes before the game. And the nonsense bucket with 2.6 seconds left that meant nothing made it land on 237 and cost me money. And I was like as angry as I can imagine being. But this one, I can understand why people are going to try to go under. When these teams played last game, it was 226.5. And it looked like it was going to go under all game, but the Pelicans erupted late, and it landed on 227. So it was back-to-back games where the final number, they were a half point over. But I can understand with the Pelicans' pace at 26th in the NBA why a team is trying to go under it, or why a gambler is trying to go under it. Rockets coming off their second straight loss, 120-107 to the Pelicans on Sunday. Ingram goes for 33 and 12 assists. The Pelicans have won 3 straight games. That coincides when Brandon Ingram came back. They were 1-4 in the games he's missed, but they're 7-3 in the past 10 games he's played. In the last 10 games he's played, he's averaging 24.5 points, 7.3 boards, assists, 5.4 boards. And Jackson Hayes stepping up in a big way. The Rockets falling apart. They've lost 6 of their past 7. Pistol Pete, Loshak, what do you think here, Rockets, Pelicans?
I want to hear the breakdown analysis, but I got to be thinking that Rockets first half plus 5.5 is maybe worth a shot. What do you think, TrotWAM?
I agree with you. There's another team that's been involved in the trades. Josh Hart going from New Orleans. They got guys involved that's not going to be playing in this game for sure. Their defense has been really good. Number 4 in defensive rating over the last 5 games. This is a dead last team in the Houston Rockets in defense. I could probably see it getting ugly in this game, especially the reason why this line is staying pretty fucking high. It's out of reach, obviously. 9 points for the Pelicans. I don't think I want to let me see what CJ McCollum looks like first before we start seeing 9 points, bro. Like, y'all just got him, man. He ain't even gonna play today. Like, slow this shit down. Even though the Houston Rockets could be trash, I think that you may be right though, Pete. I think it may be a little bit more lively spot for the Houston Rockets. They still got guys that's going to be able to be out there playing and try to score on this team. There are stats that still need to be accumulated in this game. So the stats that I think will be accumulated here as far as this Houston Rockets team, like Christian Wood, Jalen Green, those boys. As far as the long lengthy of Herb Johnson, he's been pretty much playing their best defense. A lot of that, he's still going to be out there. So, I can understand them still being able to, maybe even somehow come out and cover this spread full game here. But the early spot, I agree with you, though, Pete. I think that is a good look here. But I'm not betting it, to be honest with you, because they're fucking trash. This is one of those things that Dan Kelly was talking about as far as focus. We don't know what type of focus you're going to get from this Houston Rockets team. They just got a new plane. They just think they too hot shit. They probably just flew to fucking New Orleans for no reason. It's a real quick flight, but it ain't really shit. But but neither here nor there. But as far as this game, I'm off of this game. I don't have any action. Just based off the trade situation, I want to see what these teams looking like.
I think they'll be I like the look of the Rockets early. After losing to the Pelicans taking over late, the changes happening in the New Orleans locker room. I kind of see this Houston early look, and I'm going to study it longer, but I like it. I think it makes sense.
All right. It might be a mistake, but you can put me down for Houston first half plus 5.5 minus 104. That's the current line at Pinnacle, Jim.
First half plus 5.5 minus 104.
I like this over too. This looks pretty good too. So I would agree with the points, man. That makes sense, bro. It's too big. They don't deserve this shit, They don't got CJ McCollum yet.
It's so hard to bet on the Rockets. It's so hard. But it's actually, my ROI's been good doing it, but I'm just thinking about it. I'm immediately thinking, how much do I drop my unit size for this one? All right, let's move to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Pistons 12-41, 4-23 on the road at Mavericks 31-23, 18-10 at home. American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Detroit 1-4 over their past 5, 16th in pace at 97.90 possessions a game. Dallas 3-2, 27th in pace, 94.43 possessions a game. Mavericks have shown a lot of heart in the last couple games, and it was impressive against the Hawks on Sunday with Luka and Jalen Brunson both in foul trouble, and Hardaway done for the year. It was, Burke and Reggie Bullock stepping up in a big way was interesting. And then we need to know, is Cade Cunningham coming back after being out for 3 games? This total opened up at 211.5. It's moved to 212.5. And the Mavericks open up as 11-point favorites. That's now 11.5-point favorites. Interesting. Let's see where the cash lies in this spot. We have 7,944 tickets in. The public seems to be betting the Pistons here. 58% of the tickets so far are on them, but huge bets have come in on the Mavericks. Huge bets. And so 99% of the cash at this point is on the Mavericks. Interesting. We'll see how that changes throughout the day. Then we have 55% of tickets on the under, 85% cash on the under. Yeah, it's gone up a point. Vipe saying that Detroit 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games on the road. Dallas 4-1 against spread in their last 5 games at home. Pistons coming off their 4th straight loss, 118-105 at Minnesota on Sunday. And the Mavs coming off that 103-94 win, a character-building win here. Pistol Pete, what do you think of this spot, Pistons Mavericks?
I was with the public. I was leaning Pistons, but whenever there's like a big public dog and then big sharp money on a big favorite, I know this from years going way back. That's a situation that makes me nervous. I'm almost always going to be, tailing the sharp money on the big favorites. So, but I was thinking Pistons here.
What do you think?
Yeah. I this game, I'm thinking Pistons as well, just based off of when we do the show. We always talk with Dan Kelly. We always get the Pistons, analysis, kind of goes in together. We always have pretty good cohesion playing with this game. They may get Cade Cunningham back, so their offense is going to be a little bit better. It did fall apart last game. I think, and they played against a bad team, but they were scoring in the first half. It just seemed like it fell off in the second quarter. In the fourth quarter. But as far as this game, I believe that there will be a slow pace involved. Both of these teams are playing at a slow pace over the last 5 games. You just mentioned it, Jimmy, 27th over the last 5 games for the Dallas Mavericks in pace. This team in the Pistons, they're 16th. But we know if they see the style of what the opponent is playing, they'll get down to that opponent style like that. So I do believe that if Cade is back, their offense will be a lot better in this game. So that's kind of the way I want to go here. I want to think of him being a guy that hasn't been able to play with Jeremy Grant yet since he's been back. So having that guy back, he's going to be a little bit better here. Minnesota's not bad. Oh my God, Mike said Minnesota's probably a bad defensive team, bro. Like that's what I mean. Like they're just a bad defensive team. My fault. I mean that there is a bad team to watch or anything. They're good and interesting there, but neither near nor there. But as far as this game, I would agree. I think this is going to be a good spot for the Pistons, especially if he's in the lineup. The fact that he's questionable, I don't have any information if he's in the lineup or not. If he is in there, I do lean towards there. I like when Dan says this too. It makes me really like the Pistons here when he says K's in. He likes the Detroit money line. I love that type of shit. You know what I mean? This is what I'm here on Tuesday for. This is why I'm getting excited here. I see Pistons on the card. I know Dan is going to say some love for the Detroit Pistons, and most likely he's right here. So I like this spot for the Pistons, and I think I agree with you guys.
All right, give me the bag. You can throw on Pistons first half plus 6.5 minus 106 for me. Pistons first half plus 6.5 minus 106. Dallas. They played against OKC recently as a similar degree favorite, and they lost that one at OT. Now I'm not saying I'm sure they'll remember that, but maybe they're a team that strategically uses their effort against against better teams, and then might let down a little bit in the first half. So I'll take Detroit plus 6.5 first half minus 106.
I have interest in that spot as well. Let's move on to 9 p.m. Eastern. New York Knicks at Denver Nuggets. Knicks 24-29, 11-14 on the road. Nuggets 29-24, 14-10 at home. We're at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Knicks 1-4 over the past 5, 4th in pace at 100.7 possessions game, while Denver's 2-3, 24th in pace at 96.90 possessions a game. The Nuggets open up as 6.5 point favorites. That is up to 9 at FanDuel, 8.5 at other books. This total opened up 217. Now we see 219 and 219 and a half. We go over to the cash here. We have 8,271 tickets in. 89% of the tickets are on the Nuggets. We don't know the cash at this point. 52% of the tickets are on the under, and just 11% of cash is on the under. So a lot of people liking the over, or big bets coming in on the over here, and we've seen it go from 217 to 219.5. Knicks are on the second half of a back-to-back after suffering their third straight loss, 113-104 at the Jazz last night. They've lost 9 of 11, 0-2 on this 5-game Western Conference road trip that started with that loss to the Lakers that just, man, it made me angry. Randall finished with 30 and 6 against the Jazz after getting in the altercation with the video guy on the bench during the game. Nuggets snapped their 3-game losing streak with 124-104 beat down of the Nets at home on Sunday. Pete, Knicks Nuggets, what do you think here?
You know, I have to think that after the losses and Denver beat down a vulnerable team at home, I got to think they're not necessarily totally satisfied with that. Got to do it again. I didn't bet it, but if you gave me a free play, I would take Denver to win by double digits again.
What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, I got action on here, man. I took the first half over 113, minus 110. I think you still get that available at Bovada right now, but you may be able to find something better there. But as far as this game, I think both of these teams are already shown that they're going to try to play up for this game. I think we kind of get that idea. I think I get that idea based off of what the matchup is, based off of what you've seen from both teams. You know, you got Jokic out there. He's going to try to go up for this game. These two teams play pretty good defense down in the paint. Well, I'm sorry. The Knicks play pretty good defense down in the paint. So there will be some type of struggle, I believe, from the Denver Nuggets. But I believe that this still will be a good game for them as well. As far as offensively, they've shown that they're one of the best offensive teams. Number 3 offensive rating over the last 5 games. They're pretty much number 1 over the last week. So last week or so. They were pretty much in that span for a long time there. So I don't expect their offense to drain all the way out. Both of these teams are first half over in the last 5 road games for the Knicks team, for the last 5 games in general for the Nuggets team. And we know pretty much for the whole season, they're the number 1 team in the first half going over the total here. I like Dan Kelly's look for the team total over for the 104. I believe that you're going to see Julius Randle continue to go in the paint. He had 30 points over the last 3 games. Getting into the guy, maybe even sparked a little bit more rage out of him, hearing this trade stuff. All that shit starting to bother him, so he's going to take it out on opponents. I like that mentality here, and I think that this team is still going to give it up in the points here in the first half. They're giving up 28.8 points in the first half, which is ranked 29th in the paint, 29th in the first half as far as that's that. I'm sorry, that's second to last. 29th there in ranking there. I think Denver continues to do that, and I like the Julius Randle props, man. I took the over 18.5 for Julius Randle. I think he gets back, not even maybe 30, but I think he gets to 20 in this game here. So I like Julius Randle to get over his points, and I do like the Denver first half total for both games, for both teams, of course, over 113.5, or I'm sorry, 113. You got it at I got it at Bovada, but you can still, I think you still get that at minus 113, minus 110. I'm sorry.
Let me see what I can get you over at Pinnacle. Are you making the Randall prop official?
Yeah, that's official too. You can make both of those official. I took Randall over 18.5. That was at minus 10, I believe minus 108, but I think you're getting juiced up now at minus 120.
Is that 18.5 or 18?
18.5 points. 18.5 points. Yes, sir.
Okay, and points. Then from a total look here, I can get you 113 even at minus 111.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Okay, first half over 113 at minus 111. All right, locked in. And Dan Kelly on the Denver team total over 114. That seems to make sense. There's Big Show in the house. What do you think here, Pete? Are you adding anything?
I'm an inch away. I wanted to take the Denver team total over as well. That's what I was thinking about, 113.5 minus 118 or 114 minus 110. But I guess for now, I'll hold off on that one for no reason at all. Just fear.
Just fear. Okay, we'll move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. This one's going to be fun. Milwaukee Bucks 34-21, 15-12 on the road. At LA Lakers 26-28, 17-12 at home. We're at Crypto in Inglewood. Milwaukee 4-1, 9th in pace at 99.20 possessions a game. The Lakers 2-3, 12th in pace at 98.64 possessions game. When we go over to the market here, we have the total opening up at 230.5. It's now at 232.5. And when we go to the spread, we have the Lakers opening up as 4.5-point dogs, now 3.5-point dogs. Interesting. So a 1-point move towards them. Very, 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 very interesting. I was wondering what was going to happen with this market. Yeah, the 8,700 tickets in, 11% of the tickets on the Lakers and 30% of the cash. So big bets coming in on them. Then 57% of tickets on the over and 91% of cash on the over. Bucks coming off their third straight win, all by double digits. They beat the Clippers badly in LA on Sunday. So they began this trip with a 29-point win over the Blazers. Then they win 137-113 over the Clippers. And Antetokounmpo goes for 28 and 10 against the Clip show. Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, and Antetokounmpo combined for 79. George Hill and Grayson Allen are still listed as day-to-day. Lakers coming off that 122-115 overtime victory. Man, so much drama when it comes to Lakers games. I love it. James goes for 29, 13, and 10. He scored at least 25 points in 19 straight. Westbrook goes 1 of 10 from the field and scores 5 points. Sorry, there's a little noise in the background. Apologies. So Howard has back tightness, and Anthony ruled out for the second straight game with a hamstring injury. Pete, what do you think here?
No opinion, but when I was capping this game, I was like, if you gave me a free play, I'd definitely throw it on the Lakers at 4.5, and probably now I do the same thing at 3.5, but no play for me.
Wham, man, this is a funny ass game, bro. This is gonna be a funny ass game. So we know the Lakers are bad in holding down the paint, even though they got AD back. They still give up, bonehead plays throughout the game. They still have moments, when they need to stop. They could get the stop now because they have AD and they have LeBron, all these guys or whatever that's going to give some type of focus. What we were just talking about recently here. They're still ranked 26 in the as far as opponents' points in the paint over the last 5 games. We know what type of team this Bucks team is. They're trying to score in the paint. As far as Giannis and all that good stuff here, maybe they won't have that much success as they normally would. So I do kind of see the Lakers kind of making the case. I can make a case for them every game. I'll just say that first. But I don't see it, bro. I just don't see it. I think they're going to be able to score on us, man. I just believe that they're going to be able to score on us. They already scored 37 back-to-back games, bro. I can only see them scoring more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see them scoring more than that on us, honestly. So, and I'm talking about the Bucks here. And that's what gets me scared of this game. But that being said, this team is not playing any good defense as well as far as this Bucks team for the season. They have been playing pretty well lately. But again, that's against the Clippers, the Portland, and the Wizards. I mean, that ain't really saying too much there. Now you're going against a team that's really trying to gauge themselves off of you, which is the Lakers, for the season, how good of a run they could go on with the guys that they have right now. Maybe not making that much trades. They're already making some lighter noise or as far as rumor market. So they're making that type of noise and equivalent to what it is as far as in the real market. I don't think they're going to make that much moves here. As far as the Lakers trying to get guys healthy and shit like that. They could say some dumb shit like, oh, getting a guy like Kendrick Nunn back is like having a trade. They could say stupid shit like that. I see the Lakers.
Excuse me.
Are we getting let's run that steak bet back, bro. Let's run the steak
bet. But hold on, I'll get to you in a second, Wham. I'll get to you in a second. The Pacers are trading Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and he put Jeremy Lamb twice. What an idiot, Woj. To Sacramento for Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. So there you go. The Kings. Jimmy, you're muted over there.
Okay, that's the first breaking news you've ever given us. Ever.
That's real.
That is legitimate.
And it's Justin Holiday, not Jeremy Lamb. Actually, it is Jeremy Lamb. It's Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday because he put Jeremy Lamb twice. But yeah, so the full trade is Sabonis, Lamb, and Holiday. And Wham, I'll take your ass down on the steak bet, no problem. The Bucks will smack the shit out of the Lakers.
Got me by half a point last time. Bullshit.
Okay. Look at
I'll
the
take you, no
ball
problem.
club.
I'll take the Bucks.
Look at
Defending
the
world
ball.
champions against an old man, street clothes. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
let's
I
do
don't know
that.
what
Let's do that. I got 4 though. I get 4 this time. You had a half a point last time. I'm getting the half back. I'm getting 4 this time. Give
We
me
have a
4.
stake bet?
Yeah.
Man.
Sure it is.
So
Bucks
you're
minus
already
4.
up a stake on him?
Yeah.
No. He's up on me. Yeah. I'm trying to break even now. Yeah. Trying to get it even,
okay.
Steven. Really, I'm trying to go up 3 stakes before I get to San Antonio. So we got a little time.
Stake bet.
Well, unfortunately, Wham, I don't know if you know, your wife's steak's already taken care of. That's already been handed out by Jimmy. You know, he's the czar of the steaks. Whoever's not there in San Antonio gets their steak handed out to someone else, and your wife was mentioned as the first one. So I would hate, Wham. I would hate if I bought her a steak and then you purchased me a steak. I would hate
I'm
for
gonna
that
buy
to
both
happen.
of y'all steak regardless. It don't matter. So she has more steaks to come, bro. You know.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
You get a steak. 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 Everybody gets a steak.
Wow.
And it's only right that I'm smiling. I got to be up stakes. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. All right. Official.
All right. Stake bet is in. Massive trade just announced by one whole bouquet. And do we have any official picks on this show or for this game? Sorry.
Oh, for the Laker game, not right now, man. It's just scary.
Coward.
I got official play against him. I got the 4. I'll take that. And honestly, that's the way I'm going. I'm going with the Lakers. I'll tell you guys if I am betting this game, this will have to be something I tweet out, and it may most likely it's going to be the Lakers because we play shit like this. We do dumb shit like that. Like you said, it's so much drama. It's called the show for a reason. I can see us pulling it off. So there it is.
All right. Pistol, you making anything official in Milwaukee, Los Angeles?
No.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the second to last game on this card. We have Orlando Magic, 12-43, 7-23 on the road. The Portland Trail Blazers, 21-33, 14-15 at home. Moda Center, Portland, Oregon. Orlando 2-3 over their past 5, first in pace at 101.8 possessions a game, while Portland 0-5, 19th in pace at 97.70 possessions a game. This is the Blazers opening up as 3.5-point favorites. It's all switched since the McCollum trade. They're now plus 1.5. A huge move towards the Magic. And don't forget, the Blazers have beaten the Magic 11 straight times. This total opened up at 224.5. It has dropped to 220.5. When we go to the tickets here, we have 4,514 tickets in. 46% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on the Magic. 35% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the under here. Blazers... Well, let's start with Orlando. They've lost their last 2 games by an average of 26.5 points at home. It's been ugly, especially they'd won 4 of their past 6. Grizzlies destroyed the 135-115. Celtics destroyed the 116-83. Blazers know all about getting destroyed. They lose 137-108 to the Bucks on Saturday night. They were down 18 in the first quarter. Now they lose McCollum. This is wild. Pete, any feel here for Magic Blazers?
No, not really. And my notes were maybe Orlando, maybe Portland team total under before the trade, but no opinion as of right now.
What do you think here, Wham?
Yeah, this is a game that I don't have action on here, but I can only go Anthony Simons. It sucks as they put it at 4.5 on the 3-point prop, but I think he gets the attempts for sure. He may be shooting about 15 attempts beyond the arc tonight. There's nobody else there to help him. As far as this team, with the trade, I definitely think that they're moving guys around, trying to get guys. It's just weird as hell, but I'll leave it alone. I'll leave this game alone as far as betting it here. I'm definitely going to be watching. If I do have action on it, it's going to be Anthony Simons. To him to have those attempts, I think he's going to at least have 15 attempts. He could get 5 threes here, but that's a lot of fucking threes to put out there, though. So maybe it's not a good bet. It's nothing official for sure.
Then we have this very quickly changing Wolves Kings game. The trade just announced by Jose Bouquet on the show. Massive trade. Sabonis, Lamb, Holiday going one way. Halliburton, the key piece, coming back. Wow. So let's see what this market has done. I imagine it's off the board at most spots. The total has gone from 233.5 to 234, 234.5. I wonder if it's just off the board right now. And this is kind of old information. The Kings opened up as 3-point. No. The Kings opened up as 3-point dogs. They're now 5-point dogs. So doesn't seem too old. Timberwolves coming off their 4th straight win, 118-105 at home over the Pistons on Sunday. Kings coming off that 113-103 win at home over Oklahoma City on Saturday. Pete, the last game on the card, Wolves Kings. Any feel here?
Yeah, I was thinking about Sacramento at 4.5. Now I'm actually seeing 6 at Heritage. So I'd have to look at all the shenanigans that have gone on. But I guess still leaning Kings at +6.
Still leaning towards the Kings plus the points. What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, this is fucking crazy. Halliburton for Sabonis. What the fuck? This is wild as hell just to think about it.
It's fun.
Yeah, man. Why? I was thinking Daryl Morey was fucking out of his mind for not taking Halliburton. That was wild. Now he goes for Sabonis. It's wild as hell thinking about it like that. Neither here nor there for this game, bro. I just think it's just way too many variables. I'm glad I wasn't really invested in this game because I normally was thinking Halliburton assists because they're playing against a team now. I don't think that's going to play that much defense here. So I agree with I agree with you, Pete. Even without Halliburton in the lineup, they don't have Buddy Hield as well and Tristan Thompson. Buddy Hield ain't really too much tripping. Davion Mitchell definitely is going to get a boost though for sure. So maybe that is a play that I'm looking here, and they're just off. I didn't have this written down or anything, but now that those guys are out, maybe it's a Davion Mitchell day and a De'Aaron Fox day for them too. So I would agree with you, Pete. I think it still probably will lean towards the Kings here. It sucks ass because it's like they just got guys ripped out of them, you know what I mean? Guys that they thought was going to play with. So it's a different mindset for some of these younger players, especially a rookie in Davion Mitchell. But you know, seeing what he did in last March, it just makes me think that this could be a good spot for him, particular as far as player props. So that's probably what I would be looking after breaking this game down now with you guys. That's probably the way I'll be looking.
Yeah, I'm with Puzzler. I've got the -7 here, not 8.5. -7 for the Timberwolves, just updated. Wow, and Sabonis, you get to go from Indiana to Sacramento. So,
yeah, man.
Poor guy. There you have it. All right, let's review all NBA action with our guy Wham Bam in the house. Another stake on the line for Wham Bam. Wham Bam gets his card started with the first quarter over 53.5 in Phoenix, Philadelphia. Dan Kelly's on that first half. Phoenix, Philadelphia over 106 at -120. Then Pete moves on the Pacers team total under 108.5 at -110. And that's a great bet now.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, I can't take the first half under anymore at the new price. Unfortunate. Wham is on Marcus Smart over 5.5 assists at -101. Dan Kelly is on the third quarter Boston Celtics -4.5 at +140. And then he explained himself afterwards. He did say, he explained the bet first. He said one of his favorite situations, home for one game, being the Nets, and for 2 days after a trip of more than 3 games and then back on the road next. But I don't think there's any explanation. I think that risk reward makes a ton of sense. So so then next up, Clippers, Grizzlies, we have stayed off. Pete is on Houston first half +5.5 -104. I get it. And I have interest in the Rockets early. Bounce back after getting beaten up by them. CJ McCollum coming in for the Pelicans. I like Rockets. It's one of your hold your nose bets, but I like what Pete's on that first half. I might move first quarter too. And then Pete's on the Pistons first half +6.5 -106. And we heard Dan Kelly say that if Cade is announced in, he might put a little sprinkle on the Pistons money line there. So Dan Kelly is on the Denver team total over 114. I love that look. I'm very interested in it with all the money moving towards the over. Wham doubles up there. He's on the Randall points over 18.5 and the first half over in Knicks Nuggets at 113. Then we have a stake bet. Jose is on the Bucks -4, and we have Wham on the Lakers +4. Jose, is that an official pick for your record?
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not scared like Wham.
If you could put that down as official pick, let's put that down as official pick. Come on. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, well,
let's go.
Right now.
Now I'm about to actually we dropping cheese on it down.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go. If someone's in the chat said I'm a real fan, yes, I am a real fan for sure.
Jimmy, I'm gonna make this note. Wham is easily influenced by peer pressure, so we can see what we can do to him in San Antonio.
You see what happens there. Well, you know what? When I'm out of like bounds, which we call it over here where I'm from, when you out of bounds, you just act accordingly. Though you still act accordingly. You know what I mean? You don't do all this. I'm in the house right now saying all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's a difference.
Yeah, Ram, I'm just saying, be careful because I'd hate to have 2 steaks to eat. I'd hate to have that.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I'm glad you got away. He's the one that got away, bro, and I'm get him today.
So I'm going to line shop for right now. I can't get it up on Pinnacle for some reason, but we have Jose on -3.5 for the Bucks, and we have Wham on the Lakers at +3.5. I'll look for a 4. I'll line shop for both you guys. All right, and then next up we have nothing on Magic Blazers and nothing on Wolves Kings. And the most exciting thing we have left in the show is Pistol Pete's birthday pick.
God.
Look at the pressure setting in. Wham Bam, thank you so much for rolling with us, my man. You can catch Wham Bam Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern on NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Wham Bam, my guy, much love to you. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Loshak. Thank you, Jimmy, for having me. I appreciate you guys in the chat. We'll be back, baby.
There he is, Wham Bam. So let's review the college basketball and NHL action, and then we will close the show on the birthday pick from Pistol Pete Loshak. And Dan Kelly says, my birthday was last Friday, so you missed me, Peter. Oh, that's, it was interesting, Dan. I was like, man, we missed Dan on Friday. I didn't realize it was your birthday. Happy belated birthday to you, Dan, my guy. Okay, here we go. Pete's on the Hurricanes -1 at -160. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is on the Boston Bruins. Pete's on the Habs -1. He got +162. I only got +140, and I'd be very interested to see what it is right now after we've been on the show for so long. Please tell me money. No, money's not coming back on the Habs. Well, I do not care. And Dan Kelly said I had to plow all day Friday. Oh, too bad. I hate hearing that. Okay, then next up, Columbus, Washington. We have stayed off. Then I moved on the Wild -1 at +107. Pete got on my Wild -1 at +105. I bet that before the show started. Pete moved on the under 6.5 -129. And I think my first edition will be that team total under 2.5 on the Jets at +100. Hopefully it's still available at plus money. Pete's on the first period over 1.5 -152 in Vegas, Edmonton. I'm on the Oilers at +100 on the money line. That moved to 105 during the show, and it is still at 105. Then the last spot, Arizona, Vancouver. I doubled up. I took the under 5.5 at -120, and I took Vancouver team total under 3 at +137. Pete made 8 moves in college basketball. 8 moves, and he's had a great season in college basketball. He's 25-17 on the show, hitting at 59.5% plus 6.35 units with an ROI plus 15.12% and an average line of -112. And we have 8 bets. So this is the most bets he's made since we've returned with Loshak in the bag. North Carolina first half +1 at -108. Marquette +6 at -110. LaSalle +8 at -110. Oklahoma State TCU first half under 61 at -112. Missouri team total over 62 at -110. Miami Western Michigan under 139.5 at -110. Michigan State first half -2 at -110. USC Pacific under 135 at -110. Max moved on 2 spots. Alternate lines. Wyoming -5.5 at +140 and TCU -5.5 at +125. And that leaves us with just one thing left. Big happy birthday to our Vaughn Polo, whom we love dearly. He's already sipping on that Hennessy. He is a family man, a great guy. You have a beautiful family, Vaughn Polo, and we love you. We love capping with you, and we can't wait to party with you in San Antonio. Pistol Pete, the floor is yours.
He is a great guy, because I was thinking maybe if he's not a great guy, then I won't care so much about the birthday pick. But is that true? He is?
He's a great guy. Yeah, you got to step up here.
Damn it!
You got to step up.
I was hoping he was like maybe just kind of a half great guy, so I'd be like, well,
No,
maybe
he's a hell of a dude, man.
I don't know, man. I got a lot of bets, but this is a very weird card. I was thinking about throwing another college basketball play on. I was thinking maybe about putting Illinois at +6, but now it's down to 5.5. I was thinking about throwing on Ryder, but maybe buying down to 2 at -119. This is really tough, Jimmy the Bag. I still haven't made a decision. Let me just go over just quickly. I'll just take like a couple of seconds here to go over the card. I was leaning Toledo team total over as well. I was thinking about giving the Miami, Ohio, Western Michigan under, which I got at 144.5, but now it's down to 139.5. I think I still like it. Not necessarily enough for a birthday pick though. Ryder, I kind of like that one. I was leaning Tulsa at -5.5. We didn't talk about that, but now they're up to -7. Again, I was leaning St. John's under, but that was 145.5. Now it's down to 142.5. I was thinking about maybe Penn State. The Missouri team total over is tempting, but things can get kind of weird when you go into Vandy. So, I guess I don't want to give that. Thinking about Central Florida -2, but that's there are worse teams, so I'll hold off on that. I was thinking about maybe giving the USC Pacific under 135, but that's sort of like, just a percentage play, not necessarily something that I'm loving. But you know what? Okay, I'll do, Jimmy the Bag. It might be a little bit of a, we'll see. Hopefully I won't get burned here, but I'll make it Ryder, and at Pinnacle, I'll buy down to -2, -119. Ryder -2, -119, Jimmy the Bag. I'll make that the birthday pick for Von Polo, who is a great guy and a family man, so that means the pressure's really on. That's another college basketball pick, and of course, make that official as well. I'll take Ryder -2, -119. It was either going to be that or Illinois +5.5 or +6, buying up to like -123. So I'll take Ryder -2, -119 as the official birthday pick for Von Polo. Win or lose, you're a great guy, family guy, so everything's going to be fine. But and I know you'll have a great birthday anyway, even if this pick loses. But I hope it wins. Happy birthday, Von Polo. Ryder -2, -119. This is a special birthday pick because it involves a safe purchase of a half point. So this is one of the first safe birthday picks that I've ever made. Maybe the first in birthday pick history, Jimmy the Bag. Usually my birthday picks are just like my favorite plays. But this one, we're doing a little bit of a safe maneuver here. So we'll see how it happens.
I also have a birthday present for you, Von Polo. There you go. Happy birthday, Von Polo. We love you very, very much. Here's a second one for you, Von Polo. She's a little raggedy, but she loves to party. Von Polo, we love you very, very much, and we love all of you here. Thank you guys for rolling with us. This one was a long one. It was a banger, but we took care of business here. Shout out to Dan Kelly, Jimmy Gomez, our birthday guy, Von Polo. Have a great, great, great birthday. Mike M, Preston Burke, Cashman 19, Pole Buddies Nerfic, Derek Miller, Sean Sportsbet Dev, our guy Sean Sportsbet Dev. We will be announcing hotels for tomorrow's show. Right off the top, we'll be announcing shows right off hotels right off the top. CT Bay, Sammy Culmer, Vipe, Michael O'Brien, Ray Charles, Eric Chang, Sammy Culmer. What a great, great group. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. On behalf of Jose Bouquet.
Pete, you're coming to San Antonio, right? Pete,
we'll see.
Pete, you're coming, right?
On it.
Pete,
my team is working on it. They're looking into it. Yeah.
We need. He's looking for a $30 or $40 flight, so we're hoping that the price is slashed. Pete, you want to take us out into the sunset, my man?
Sure. You mean with some final words? I wrote a few final words here. If you want me to read them.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not a really good writer, but you keep asking me if I have any final words, so I was like, all right, I'll write something. I'm not a good writer, though, Jimmy the Bag.
This will be our leche. This will be our leche, Jose. So let's close on these final thoughts.
Okay, I wrote. Again, I'm not a good writer, but maybe, okay. I had a really good time in the video today. You're all really great. You all had a lot of great things to say about the games today, and it was really fun. I hope all our picks win today.